Stavati's been a ghost ship, 20 years of empty claims, with hangars full of garbage and dreams that never came. Now he's fishing for new suckers to store more junk inside, while promising his gullible fans hover cars and free energy rides.
We are working on anti-gravity. As soon as we get financed, which again is coming very soon.
Divine insights were handed down, but now they cost a fee. In the wacky world of Wilcock, that's the way it's gotta be. Financial resets, debts erased, a world so fair and bright. The alliance never came, and neither did his wife. The wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. It's the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. Just buy my course, $300. Enlightenment's the deal. In the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. Extraterrestrial pals, they're coming here to stay. Disclosure's always just around, but aliens delay. Law of one, the Bible, Bhagavad Gita, all mixed up in one. David's stealing from the best, but his fans think it's a brand new one. Plagiarizing profit, that's his favorite routine. In the wacky world of Wilcock, where nonsense reigns supreme, we'll all get rainbow bodies, whatever that might mean. And Jesus is an alien, the wildest thing you've seen. David's on a hero's journey through dimensions far and wide. Draco reptilians know where he lives, so in his mansion he must hide. Catastrophes and end times were on the brink, he said, but my coffee's brewing nicely, and I'm still in my bed. The wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. It's the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. Just buy my course, $300. Enlightenment's the deal. In the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. No one's suffering like David in his mansion grand and tall, with bison, steak and chicken, he's the loneliest of all. His teeth are fake as his prophecies, and courses that he sells. In the wacky world of Wilcock, he's ringing all the bells.
If we bathe in our own urine, we can gain superpowers. What do we doing the bath does help. Or you urinate before you get into the bathtub, and then you drink new water out of a glass, and when you're in the bathtub, you can do a little more.
Buy my course, $300. Enlightenment's the deal. In the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. His PowerPoint slides are packed with schizophrenic rants, forced to stream on YouTube now, bankruptcy's a stance. Stavati aerospace, a Ponzi scheme they say, so pay pigs better pay up, or like Corey Good he'll stay. So many dates, so many dreams, none of them come true. But hey, don't fret, just buy the course and I'll enlighten you.
For God's sake, take the deal, okay? But you have to take the deal and you have to cooperate. Rise, rise, rise. And you feel yourself, kinetic energy of levitation, tingling across your skin.
In 2012, we'd all ascend, a cosmic shift was due. But here we are in 24, and nothing much is new. Mass arrests and cover busts, beliefs should quake in fear, yet they're still here, sipping wine, and we're all stuck right here. In a world of Greer and Good, Crush and Lou, with their claims nobody tops David Wilcock, with his fringe and wacky games, while they're sharing UFOs and theories kinda tame. David's got aliens who wanna sleep with him and eat him, what a shame. He's the master of the bizarre, with rainbow bodies on display. In the wacky world of Wilcock, where nonsense leads the way. So here's to Dave, the shyster bold, with tales so far-fetched and grand. In his world of make-believe, where fantasy's second-hand, he spins his fairy tales and lies between his YouTube streams for his cat crystal ladies who gobble up his dreams.
Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back. So we are returning to the wacky world of Wilcock once again. And It's interesting what has happened in his last stream. You may recall that David Wilcock, leading up to the last week, all during the week, he had a lot of, let's just say, L's, right? A lot of losses. There was Jay Widener sort of dishing on him here, his former boss and producer of his television show, basically agreeing with me that David Wilcock is losing his goddamn mind. Then he got hit with some more legal problems, which we reported on, because he's not producing the materials for this subpoena for Gaia TV like he's supposed to by law. David called it a deep sea fishing expedition and claimed he wasn't going to produce anything else for them. But that's not how a subpoena works. You get a subpoena, they demand whatever records they want. You have to use the search terms they give you and then give them anything that you find. He's not doing that. Then, of course, we get the stunning revelation that apparently the Air Dominance Summit that they attended, nobody cared about their shitty company and their fake nonsense that they've been pushing for 30 years now. This shady aerospace company's been in business for 30 years, never produced a single airplane product or service, even admitted in some court documents they have no income related to the aerospace field. Their only income is from a dark garbage dumpster company and from a sewage company. Great. So, of course, John Christian Spadavaccia, who's now sort of a contributor here, shout out to John, went to the Air Dominance Summit, and David Wilcock was dumb enough, super psychic of the earth that he is, to sit right next to our reporter at breakfast and not recognize that it was John, who had been on our show several times, who he previously accused me of being. Like David Wilcock said that this Stephen Campion is sending fake emails and using this pseudonym, John Christian Spadavaccia. No, that's a real guy, and now he's a reporter for us. So John goes to the Air Dominance Summit. We showed you the picture he took. He's sitting at breakfast, and super genius, psychic savior of Earth sits right next to our reporter at breakfast, not realizing that was John. So he had all of these losses, these big L's leading up to his stream this week. And instead of being honest about everything, he just kind of lost his mind. And David Wilcock has retreated into his delusional fairy tale world where we haven't proven that all of this shit is fake, where we haven't just felted him over and over and over and over again. We have been reporting on his various shady business dealings and this shady company for quite some time. But David Wilcock has ignored all of that evidence, instead choosing to character assassinate me. He has told everyone that I am a terrorist, that I am a child predator. You know what kind of child predator. And by the way, David Wilcock, you piece of shit, I have a wife and children. You don't get to accuse me of being a child sex predator without consequences. So he's accused me of stealing money out of his bank account. He keeps saying I'm a terrorist, and in his latest live stream, he's basically saying I'm as bad or worse than the Unabomber. I guess I have missed where I, sent bombs in the mail, even though he's claiming that I'm sending suspicious packages or empty packages. He keeps changing his story because he is a pathological liar. David Wilcock can only be described as a pathological liar. And of course, in this latest stream, he claims now that they are getting, $883 billion. Somebody's giving them $883 billion in order to work on hover cars, right? Yeah, he's actually telling people that somebody's investing $883 billion into his shady company. But you remember what happens when people invest money in that company. Somebody invested $1 million. He had to sue them. and he still hasn't gotten a dime of his initial investment back. I think they owe him 5 or is it $6 million is what he's suing them for. And that investor who lost $1 million, at least, I suppose, has called their company an investment scam and a Ponzi scheme in the court documents. Stormcrow is here with a kind of generous $5 Australian saying, let's get this party started. I couldn't agree more. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Big show support from Stormcrow. And Nemesis Bex is here with £5 just for playing the Wilcock song. If I knew people would throw money at me for playing that again, I would. We just try to vary it up, Nemesis Bex. But thank you for being a big show supporter for so long. We appreciate you. Thanks for appreciating us. And Review Tech Mongolia is here. I still can't believe he thinks you want to eat him. If you were a cannibal, I'm pretty sure you have higher standards than choosing to eat him. Oh, I forgot. He also, you're right, Review Tech Mongolia. He also accused me of wanting to kill him and eat him, I think. Right? I mean, I'm losing track. It's so ridiculous. I stole $7,000 from his bank account. I sent death threats. I try to extort money from him. Of course, all of those things are false. And hey, David Wilcock, how long do you think character assassinating me will work on your dumb as rocks followers? More and more people are finding my show. Somebody asked him on the latest live stream or told him, oh, Steve Cambion had your old boss, Jay Widener, on his show. And you could see he was visibly shaken about that comment, but he acted like he was glad that that happened, because I'm sure he's going to say there's some conspiracy against him with me and Jay Widener and Gaia TV. So David Wilcock is basically, and thank you, Review Tech Mongolia, very, very kind of you. For those unaware, we read every single super chat. We thank every person in the kick.com chat who is sending a sub, or excuse me, subscribing or gifting a sub. We'll show some love to the kick chat. I only see Scopely, CFG, and Diaper Fur over there so far. Slow start on the kick side. But for those unaware on the watching on Kick, if you become a subscriber or gift a subscriber, we read every one of those. So thank you for that. We really appreciate that. And I will put my one second. I always forget to mute it on Kick, and then I have to listen to myself echo. Just bear with me one moment. So I will put my creator dashboard up and be able to call out, to be able to thank anybody over on Kick who gifts a sub or anything like that. And over the weekend, a few people have gifted a sub, or no, 2 people became a subscriber. Mew2XV Real subscribed over the weekend. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Mew2XV Real. And the Lucky Gremlin became a subscriber on May 25th when I wasn't even broadcasting. So thank you very much for that. Big support over on Kick. I love you, Kick viewers. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. So before we dive into this week's clips, generously provided by, I'm just going to give him credit for being a contributing producer, Macario. He clips all these Wilcock clips, so we don't have to watch 5 hours of this clown. Before we get into that, there was something very interesting. Oh, now I just lost it. How did I lose it that quickly? One second. There was something very interesting from a psychological perspective that I think really helps explain what it is that David Wilcock is doing with this character assassination against me. It's apparently there's even a name for it. This is very fancy. So what David Wilcock is doing to me is called Darvo. Darvo, let's get into this. I just want to share this before we get to the clips because, by the way, Spooky, another contributing producer here, Spooky found this and said, this sounds like exactly what David Wilcock is doing. And yes, it does. So let's go through this. Darvo, an acronym for deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender, is a reaction that perpetrators of wrongdoing, such as sexual offenders, may display in response to being held accountable for their behavior. Some researchers indicate that it is a common manipulation strategy of psychological abusers. Darvo is a tactic used by a perpetrator to avoid accountability for their actions. Let's see. We basically showed all the evidence and proof of David Wilcock participating in a GoFundMe scam. We showed all the evidence of proof of David Wilcock participating in a PayPal donation scam. We've showed an awful lot of evidence of, let's just say, some shady shenanigans going on with his so-called charity, where he's collecting charitable donations. And then he admits on his live streams that he's buying cameras, software, and equipment with charitable donations, and then he's using that equipment to do for-profit streams, which, as far as I'm told, is illegal. You're not allowed to do that. We've showed evidence of his previous courses being essentially scams. You know, prepare for Ascension. Ascension didn't come. Oh, sign up for my $333 course on anti-gravity and free energy. Then you'll be able to do it too. Nobody was able to do it. And of course, the latest scam is Ascension's coming this year. Again, for those unaware, David Wilcock pulled this scam several times before. Leading up to the year 2000, he ran essentially the same scam, claiming that Ascension was coming when the year 2000 came. It didn't. Then everybody forgot he ran that scam. So leading up to 2012, he ran that scam again, saying Ascension is coming in 2012, taking money from people for books, courses, whatever. Ascension didn't come. Now he's running the Ascension is coming scam again, in my opinion, saying Ascension's going to be here by May of September now. He pushed it back to give himself more time to collect money from morons. So process, Darvo is a tactic used by a perpetrator to avoid accountability for their actions. I just reviewed some of the things that David Wilcock is refusing to accept accountability for. We have him dead to rights on the PayPal donation scam. We have him dead to rights on the PayPal GoFundMe scam. Those were scams. Now, he can try to say, oh, it was the people that were involved. Pete Peterson and Emery Smith were running those scams. I just was helping them. Okay, well, then you were helping with the scam, in my opinion, but whatever. My point is, he won't, if he didn't do anything wrong, why doesn't he go over all the evidence? Hey, David Wilcock, you dumb dickhead, why don't you make 100 slides to explain why you have no accountability for the Pete Peterson GoFundMe scam? Why you have no accountability for the Emery Smith PayPal donation scam? Why you have no accountability for using your charitable donations to buy cameras and equipment that you then use to do for-profit streams on YouTube? Why don't you make slides and explain to everybody why you are not guilty of anything and you did nothing wrong? See, he won't do that, and he can't do that. So instead, he decides to call me a child predator, extortionist, who's sending death threats, who's a terrorist, stealing $7,700 from his bank account, child predator, terrorist, that I'm going to get life in prison. He's doing that for a reason, because our research into those various shady scams that he's been involved in has been impeccable. I'm very proud of the research that we do here. I'm not just throwing around allegations. When I say, in my opinion, something is a scam, that is an informed opinion based on all of the available evidence that we have been able to dig up and research on that particular shady thing or scam. I'm not just willy-nilly making accusations against people. That's what David Wilcock is doing. David Wilcock has provided no evidence that I'm a child predator. He has also called me a Satan worshiper. The only evidence he had for that is that I once wore a devil mask on my show as part of a comedic skit. He has shown no evidence that I extorted money from him. He has shown no evidence I sent him death threats. He also accused me of getting him swatted. We showed the evidence that he lied about all of that. He lied about all of that. And really, friends, it's just comical to me. Like when I say something, and still it's based on my opinion about him and his shady life, the guy has been stealing money from morons on the internet claiming to be some kind of a psychic for decades. But he thinks he's going to somehow disparage a reporter and also sue me into submission. I'm here to tell you that's not going to work, because David Wilcock, I will not stop covering you and your shady business dealings. And you can sue me to try to get me to stop covering you, but that would be the textbook definition of a slap lawsuit, which is not allowed in the state that I live in. I will get it immediately dismissed, right? We want to thank Review Tech Mongolia, who became a YouTube channel member. For those unaware, if you become a YouTube channel member or a Kick subscriber or anything, if you become a member or a subscriber, we give you a big shout out and thank you. So big shout out and thanks to Review Tech Mongolia. Get some extra goodies. Check out our members section. Lots of extra videos there for you. Thank you, Review Tech. Big show supporter. And Charles McDonald with 8. Who wants to eat David Wilcock? I don't think I would eat him if he was dead and I was starving. Tales, thank you. Tales of the Sonic Voyage. It's for postage, Steven. Sending packages in the mail can be pricey. Don't encourage the terrorist within me. Tales of the Sonic Voyage. It is completely ridiculous. It is completely ridiculous. Review Tech Mongolia says, David is the reason I can no longer have cucumbers in my salads. Yeah, his wife likes to dildo herself with a cucumber. I guess it beats David. You know, he's got an itty bitty pitty, you know? Itty bitty pitty peeny. Okay, but so it's interesting that he's accusing me of all these things with no evidence, but he won't address the evidence that I have shown of him and his shady business dealings. And as a reporter, if he were to prove me wrong, I would apologize. I would say, well, I guess I got the story wrong, and I apologize for disparaging you and your character. But he hasn't done that, and he won't do that. He can't do that because we were correct in all of our reporting on him. We were correct on all of it. So the only thing he has left is character assassination and this Darvo, a tactic used by a perpetrator to avoid accountability for their actions. As the acronym suggests, Darvo commonly involves these steps. 1, the perpetrator denies the harm or abuse ever took place. Number 2, when confronted with evidence, and let's be clear, we've confronted him with all of our evidence. They're on all of our shows. When confronted with evidence, the perpetrator then attacks the person that they had harmed or the person bringing their bad behavior to light. The attacker may also attack the victim's family and or friends. Well, he hasn't done that yet. Finally, the perpetrator claims that they were or are actually the victim in the situation, thus reversing the positions of victim and offender, or accuser and offender. It often involves not just playing the victim, but also victim blaming. These tactics are similar to other techniques used by perpetrators to avoid accountability by manipulating observers' perceptions of events. Yeah, now imagine if you were on the fence and not quite sure about David Wilcock, and you heard that this reporter was uncovering all these shady things. Some people would call them scams, and showing the evidence and proof for these shady things. Again, some people would call these things scams. But then you heard that that person was a child molester and a predator and a Satan worshiper, that he was sending death threats, that he was stealing money out of people's bank accounts to the tune of grand theft, that he was sending bombs or suspicious packages in the mail, that he was a terrorist. Well, for some people, this situation would be enough for people to doubt the veracity of the claims and the quality of the evidence that that reporter, in this case me, was presenting. And in many people will not dig deeper to get to the truth of that situation. They'll just believe David Wilcock. Well, this guy's a Satan-worshipping pedophile, child predator, terrorist who's stealing money from David. He's the bad guy. David Wilcock is literally trying to pretend that he's the victim. This is Darvo, friends. Researchers have noted similarities to outrage management, where a perpetrator tries to make observers think better of themselves and their actions so that they can avoid consequences. The strategy often involves denying the victim's versions of events and trying to make observers doubt the victim's credibility, which are both key aspects of Darvo. Relevant techniques also include playing the victim, playing the hero. Does any of this sound familiar? Which perpetrators use to downplay the harm seen in their behavior. In playing the victim, a perpetrator highlights their own past suffering. Who's highlighting all their suffering right now? Oh, this has been the worst thing I've ever been through. Oh, people are sending me death threats. Mean tweets, that's what he means. A perpetrator admits to some amount of wrongdoing, but highlights their own past good deeds to mitigate their harmful ones. Both techniques may come into play for the denying or reversing stages of Darvo. Studies on the prevalence of Darvo suggest it is a common tactic used by perpetrators when they are confronted with their behavior, regardless of the type of harm that they have caused. One study of undergraduates who had confronted someone over a harmful event found that Darvo was used by 72% of perpetrators during the confrontation. We have been confronting David Wilcock with all of his shady scams of the past. He doesn't like that. So he's employing these tactics, friends. The offenses range from social mistreatment like betrayal, secrets, to interpersonal violence like sexual assault or child abuse. Darvo is particularly likely in cases of sexual violence, with one study of women who had been sexually assaulted at a university reported that half of the perpetrators involved have used elements of Darvo in conversations. Darvo has been studied and documented in specific contexts beyond those of interpersonal violence. Darvo has been labeled in some cases of medical malpractice, where victim blaming is already common. Darvo has been theorized as acting on groups of people and not just individuals. Yes, he's employing these Darvo tactics on groups of people, his audience. One case under study was the intense backlash to the Me Too movement, where men's rights activists cast Me Too allegations as false, claiming the assailant were the real victims via reactionary hashtag. Effectiveness. Darvo tactics are more successful when abusers can take advantage of societal beliefs and stereotypes to convince their audience of their new narrative. We can skip the part about sexual violence. Stereotypes can help perpetrators. If an assailant is a white, wealthy man, he may be perceived as authoritative or sincere. Whereas if an accusation against him was made by a journalist, they might be seen as predatory and thus less trustworthy. Wow. Darvo is able to move perceptions of responsibility and blame from attackers to victims. When studied in cases of sexual abuse, one study found that Darvo made observers see perpetrators as less responsible. Great. So these are the tactics being used by David Wilcock. Now we have put a name to it. That's actually a thing. He's just trying to avoid any responsibility. He didn't do anything wrong in all those cases where all those people were scammed out of their money. It wasn't him. He didn't do anything wrong. It's this terrorist that is making these accusations. And again, David Wilcock, why don't you make 100 slides proving why you're not a new age scammer who has been taking advantage of mentally vulnerable people for decades? Why don't you make some slides about the amount of money you collected leading up to the year 2000 and again in 2012, and make a slide showing us how much money you've collected from morons on the internet who believe that you're talking to angels who told you ascension's coming in 2025. And maybe you should make a slide about how you're going to give all the money back from this latest Ascension is Coming scam. Ascension is coming in 2025. What if Ascension doesn't come, David? Are you going to give refunds to every single person that you said you were talking to angels who were telling you the future? Are you going to give all that money back? And if not, then you will prove that you scammed those people. When Ascension does not come in 2025, everybody that gave him the money for this latest Ascension is Coming scam will know that they got scammed. Maybe they should all get together and start a class action lawsuit against David Wilcock so that everybody can get their money back. I think that would be a wonderful idea. But that's a story for another time, friends. So let's get to the clips. Let's dive right in. One second. Okay, so now David Wilcock is wearing, it looks like anal beads. That's his new outfit. He's wearing anal beads around his neck. You know what anal beads are, right? David Wilcock is a big fan of anal beads, apparently. He loves anal beads. Wow. All right, we're gonna get into the clips now, friends. So let's get into it. And thanks to Macario.
All right, welcome to the show, and check out the sizzle shirt.
I don't care about the sizzle shirt. I'm focused on those anal beads around his neck
That I have been bestowed by lovely members of our audience. Dude, this is one of my most favorite shirts of all time. Maybe.
Yes, his moron cult members. He has a P.O. box where his moron cult members send him literal cash in the mail. Somebody on his last stream was saying that they sent him $100 bills in the mail. Must be nice.
My most favorite
The
shirt
cult
of all
leader.
time. It is incredibly striking. And it's
Striking's one word for it.
What's going on this
I
week.
think gay would be another word for
some
it.
very exciting
pretty
news
gay.
come through. Our company is now funded. So that has, we're no longer fundraising.
He says we're no longer fundraising while he's collecting thousands of dollars in super chats. And this is going to get interesting because he's basically claiming that his company got $883 billion. And I just want to ask everybody, if you just got $883 billion, would you be worried about a few $1,000s on YouTube? Or would you just turn your monetization settings off and not take any money from your moron followers anymore?
I was told in a dream to tell you guys about this. So we are in celebration. It's a great day.
And like I said, David Wilcock stacked up so many losses last week that I think he had no choice left but to retreat into his delusional world of lies where he makes up all this shit. I mean, last week was pretty bad for him. We had the Jay Widener interview, John Kristen Spatavaccia showing up at that air dominance conference, proving nobody cared about their toy airplanes and their bullshit. And David Wilcock somehow invented a world where somebody at that conference gave his company $883 billion. Yes, million and billion are the same thing. He was told to tell us about, just to clarify, I think Stavati told him they're getting $883 billion. And then he had a dream where I guess his imaginary friends told him to tell his audience that they got the money. And they're now totally funded now. Which begs the question, then why is he still collecting money on YouTube?
It was a very nicely timed thing for somebody to send me this right as we closed the deal.
Yeah. It was so nicely timed that suddenly out of nowhere, David Wilcock's company got funded to the tune of $1 trillion right after he just got hit with more legal problems. Right after the Air Summit came and went and nobody cared about their shady company, right? It's suspicious timing at best. And for those that have been watching, you guys know he's been saying the money's coming next week for 3 years now. Oh, we're getting this big deal. And it just keeps increasing in ridiculousness. First, it was somebody's investing $5 million, then $10 million, then $1 trillion. Now we're up to, then $1 billion. Now we're up to somebody's investing $883 billion. It is so stupid and so ridiculous and so childish. His followers have to be the biggest morons on earth. You'd have to be to believe anything he says. And I wish I had the clip available. We could play all the times he said the company's getting funded. But this time he said they did get funded. Not getting, we did. So what's his excuse going to be when years go by and they still don't produce a single airplane product or service? I wonder.
And we're not just closing any deal. The deal we just made, apparently, according to Chris, is one of the most significant deals in aerospace history, because this deal alone could lead to 1,500 units of production.
And by the way, there's real aerospace insiders on Twitter chiming in. Do you know how many fighter airplanes were made last year, were manufactured and sold to the government? Less than 100. But David Wilcock is saying that his shady aerospace company, who's being sued by creditors, they can't even pay their fucking accountant. They're going to make 1,500 planes because of this deal. There are people chiming in on Twitter calling total bullshit on that number because David Wilcock is a moron and he doesn't know anything about the actual aerospace industry. Trolley Troll says you should send some of that softball-sized hail David Wilcock's way. Yes, according to David Wilcock, I'm controlling the weather and I have weather weapons and I'm attacking his home with weather weapons. But thank you, Trolley Troll. Yeah, maybe they can pay Dimitrov the $6+ million that they owe him plus court fees, right? Yes. And the content Lazati says, man, if I was funded even 0.5% of $1 trillion, none of these jackasses would ever see me again. It's $5 billion. Yes. It's just so stupid that he thinks people are going to believe this. But then again, they believe that he got superpowers from taking baths and piss and that he used his superpowers to save Trump from the assassin's bullet. And the Trump administration are going to give him a job.
Which is a phenomenal number. So apparently we are not fundraising anymore. But I think we still might, because we're...
Yeah, he caught himself. We're not fundraising anymore. I just got $883 billion. But make sure you send me those $100 super chats.
Trying to expand the range of these products as quickly as possible. There's a scrappy way to do it, which is that you take on a few contracts, you keep the money.
Yeah, and Macario says, biggest deal in aerospace history. They don't need any money anymore, but they will still take the money, especially Wilcock will still take. Could you imagine if you suddenly won? I mean, saying that your company just got $883 billion, but still taking $100 super chats from poor people, that's like me winning $50 million in the Powerball, and then immediately after winning $50 million in the Powerball, going to my cousin who owes me $20 and hassling him for the $20. It's just not something that you would really do if this was reality. But welcome to David Wilcock's fake world built on lies and bullshit.
And then you redirect the money that you do have into other projects. But if you get those projects separately financed, then you're not waiting for the revenue to come in and you have more to start with. And therefore, we can jumpstart things even faster. So,
yeah, what a way. Like, oh, we're already figuring out how to misuse the funds that were invested. Instead of using it for one project, we'll use it for a lot of projects. That's probably why the company is broke, Wilcock.
Conversation has gotten very heady. The investors are now aware of something that we really weren't talking about, which is that we have...
Here is a big claim.
Which is that we have all sorts of unique stuff that you're not supposed to have, like anti-gravity and hover cars and levitation technology.
He's talking like they already have it and it already works. Show us. Show us a fucking hover car. Show us a hover car, David Wilcock. Show us a working anti-gravity engine. Show us a working free energy engine. He has shown exactly no proof that they have any working technology. And even in a stream recently, he was asking for inventors that have stuff that works for sure to contact them, which would imply that they have nothing that works. But now he's going to brag that they have hover cars, brag that they have anti-gravity. Show us something working. And I don't mean a 3D printed toy or some Windows 98 3D model, picture of an airplane. Show us a working hover car, David. And if you can't, then you're lying through your fake teeth again. He's lying through his fake teeth again.
And now they're figuring all that out. And so this is just the first deal to kind of get everything going and get it started.
Oh, the first deal for $883 billion. Yes.
But it's already, if you have one deal like this in your life, you're set for life. And
that Chris Beskar is bullshitting him. All you need is one deal like this, David. You'll be set for life, and so will I. We'll all be set for life. Thanks for what was it, David, that you gave Beskar and Stavati? $1 million and a half dollars? Are you this much of a fucking moron? The other guy that gave them that much money is suing them, calling them a Ponzi scheme and a scam, trying to get his money back. You know that, right? You're never going to get your money back, David Wilcock, and I'm here for it. I'm glad that you're never going to see any money out of this company. In my opinion, David Wilcock will never get his initial investment back, let alone any profit whatsoever. And in a grand act of what can only be described the karmic justice system, a man who made $1 million or $1.5 million scamming morons got scammed out of that $1 million or $1.5 million by another moron. Because David Wilcock is basically a moron that believes that this company is going to be able to do anything that they're saying. They haven't been able to for 30 years now, but hey, they're going to invent hover cars with free energy engines. And now he's saying they're going to make spaceships.
That's what just happened. So thank you guys again. You're my family, and you guys are the only ones who seem to really give a crap about me. So
now that's just sad. This guy has a brother and a mother and a father, and here he is saying that the only people that care about him are as dumb as rocks cult-like followers that send him super chats. That's very sad.
I'm just joking. That's not true. Everywhere I go, I get people that want to take my picture. They saw
Oh yeah, weren't you on Ancient Aliens 15 years ago?
On Ancient Aliens, they saw me on YouTube. It's a great life, and I want to give something back. I don't want to just talk about UFOs.
He wants to give something back. You've been taking money from people for decades, and now you finally want to give something back? But you've given back nothing but bullshit so far. Stories about hover cars isn't giving something back. Stories about free energy engines so people won't have to work anymore isn't giving something back, David. It's bullshit. I don't even know what to say about this guy anymore. He is getting more and more pathetic as time goes on. And a lot of people think that he's in for a break point. Like real soon, he's going to lose his mind and snap and break.
To make UFOs. Therefore, if I make them, then nobody can debunk anything. There's nothing to debunk. It's like, well, does it work or not?
Yes, David, that's the question. Do you have anything that works? Then show us it. If you have anything that works and you're not just a pathological liar and a scammer and a con artist, then show us something that works. He can't and he won't because he has nothing that works. He has nothing but stories and bullshit from fake people that are just as fake as his teeth. Remember, the CEO of his company is claiming that he built spaceships for the secret space program and worked at Area 51, right? And that Beskar armor from the Mandalorian series was named after him because he worked on the Star Wars prequels. No, he didn't. And we have on-the-record comments to prove that Beskar lied about that, and so did David Wilcock. It's absolutely ridiculous, but here we are.
Starting your first production. Well, it's going to be all over the world. I'm not exactly sure, but one of the aerospace, we're creating American jobs. So.
Yeah, right. They're creating American jobs, except they lost their tax subsidies in Niagara, New York, because they They claimed to the local economy that they would create, what was it, 500 jobs, David Wilcock? And then you lost those tax breaks because you didn't create a single job. But yeah, you're creating American jobs. In the land of make-believe, he's creating jobs.
So one of the aerospace partners that we're partnering with has facilities in Virginia. They have facilities near Nellis Air Force. Ooh, Nellis Air Force Base, that's right. You know, at some point, they're probably going to show me something, and then I won't be able to tell you guys what I saw. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry in advance.
Oh, yeah. He thinks he's going to see the secret spaceships and the UFOs and those secret dark hangars, right? He's going to get to see the goodies.
When they bring me to...
Don't you think David Wilcock would be much better at doing live streams if he was drinking vodka instead of water all the time? I think so.
A place like Nellis, and I get the undisclosed elevator trip that goes down for, you go down for 10 minutes straight, mate, and you can jump up off the ground and your body's just floating inside the elevator. That's how deep it is to get inside these underground bases, mate. Take it from your dear old Uncle Jack.
This guy is literally losing his mind.
It takes quite a while to get down there if it's 2 miles below the surface, mate. And you can free float in there, just like they did with the Blue Origin, mate. It's breathtaking. Yeah, I'm in a good mood, man. I mean, this just makes everything else.
No, I don't have weather weapons.
You know what? It's like we just won in the biggest possible way you can win. This was the only thing that really mattered, is like, when do I get this company funded? And it happened.
Yeah, and isn't that a little suspicious? He has a week of tremendous losses. His former producer is on my show agreeing with me that David Wilcock is a liar and a scammer and is losing his mind. He gets hit with more legal troubles. The Air Dominance Summit comes and goes and nobody cares about his fake company. They didn't sign any deals, in my opinion. And suddenly he had this tremendous win. Sounds like something a liar would make up.
So, you know, we're good and everything is good. Hold on a second here. I love this. I love having the power to moderate. If I see something nasty, it's like, okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And we will adjust accordingly.
I thought he was paying 8 people to moderate his chats. So then why does he have to live moderate and delete the mean comments, right? I don't think he actually has a team of people.
And we have Ernie Perez. Please tell me tomorrow is blackout day. Does Debt Jubilee start tomorrow? Tell us, love you, man. I have no idea. Again, every time that I thought I could anticipate the way this thing was going to go or what was going to happen, I've been totally disappointed.
Yeah, and here's a stunning admission from David Wilcock. He's supposed to be telling the future of what's going to happen because an angel is telling him the future and giving him prophecies. But here he just admitted that he doesn't know what's going to happen or when. Well, then why are you taking money from people for years now telling them that you know when Ascension's coming, you liar, scammer? Detective is here with one for the goal. Where's my hover car, Wilcock? Good question. Yeah, you should ask him. You should go to his... Never mind, I'm not even going to say it. I was going to say go to his chat and ask. But I don't want to be perceived as encouraging the meanness, right? But thank you, Detective, for your kindness, your generosity, and your support. We really appreciate that. Oh, and I forgot about the... oh, no, I don't have the Cash Clown bumpers loaded. Maybe I can get them real quick. Let me see. No, we'll just use the Wilcock Cash Clown tonight again.
Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Yes, let's praise the cash, friends. Let's continue to praise the cash.
You know, I thought maybe that we would get results really soon after the presidency began. So one of the speculations...
Yeah. Which the arrests are going to happen right after the inauguration, and then it didn't happen. Because David Wilcock is the worst psychic on earth.
was, again, just a speculation, was May of 2025. But now we're going to summarize this again. The latest crop circle that we got, okay, the whole title of today's show is crop
tie it into something totally fake, like crop circles.
circle portals, right? The latest crop circle that we got, which you can see right in my title screen.
And I'm sorry, I know there's some people that think that's a genuine phenomenon. I don't. I made a crop circle in New Jersey when I was a kid. We were drinking out near a farm and seemed like a good idea. They are almost certainly always hoaxes.
What this appears to be showing is Venus in Pegasus, because Pegasus is a square, and you've got the square right.
All right, now he's got to try to connect dots and make any of this shit make sense. He goes on and never answers the question. He says it was always speculation,
in the
says
middle of the circle
Macario.
there. So there's speculation in some of the crop circle reporting that this was Venus in Pegasus. Well, the Venus in Pegasus is interesting because it was in Pegasus on March 23rd, and then it went into retrograde motion, and it starts moving backwards, and then by the 24th, it goes into actually Pisces.
Okay, so he's mixing together astrology, astronomy, and crop circles. Okay, two of the three of those things are fake. So what does this have to do with anything?
Which is my
I'm
birth sign.
confused.
But what's interesting about this, okay, the Venus in Pegasus square, it might be what was flagged by this. We'll talk a lot more about this later. But what could that mean?
Nothing. It means nothing, you moron.
Well, March 23rd is only 3 days away from the spring equinox, which was pretty much almost the exact day that we found out about the pyramid tunnels. And in these very interesting, I've been doing remote viewing. If you don't know what that is, it was studied.
Yeah, he's remote viewing the morons in his live chats, bank accounts, and wallets, and taking as much money from them as he possibly can.
For decades. One of the first book I ever read on ESP.
The first book you ever read on ESP. We've heard all this before. And Wilcock is
one of the books that she had.
Wilcock is constantly repeating himself.
Had down there was How to Make ESP Work For You by Harold Sherman, and I started to read the exercises, and I tell Eric to wake up in the middle of the night and think of gold, and he thinks of his.
Yes, Macario says, we have heard the story about him waking his friend up in the middle of the night before. When David Wilcock talks about it, it sounds creepy. He talks about how he is a super powerful psychic, but all of his predictions about tomorrow were just speculation. Also, he has said his friend had a gold watch. They were 7 years old, and his friend had a gold watch. Sure.
Watch, and the watch is gold. I said, what color's your watch, Eric? He says, gold. I'm like, okay. You had 2 instructions last night. You got to wake up, and you got to think of gold. And the time that I want him to wake up, he didn't quite nail the time, but he definitely woke up in the middle of the night, and that was pretty much good enough. You know, 7 years old, cut me a break.
Yeah. What kind of 7-year-old psychopath is trying to mind control his friends at school with his fake psychic powers? Sounds like he had emotional or mental issues even as a 7-year-old.
Anyway, once I did that, we actually had a classroom demonstration of ESP at one point where I did Zener cards in front of the whole audience that I made myself, and each one of them was different, and I actually got some of them right. But more importantly, was also
some
the
of them
psychic
right.
team that I had.
And by the way, I have tested over 100 individuals with Zener cards who claim to be psychic. Guess how accurate the people who claim to be psychics were with guessing what card I had drawn from the deck and was concentrating on. They were about as accurate as just regular people who claim no psychic powers just guessing, friends. So that'll tell you something about Zener cards. They're a very good test tool.
Around the corner of the kindergarten building where they were guessing numbers 1 through 10, and I had 100% accuracy by following Harold Sherman's technique.
Oh, sure. As a 7-year-old, he was predicting numbers people were calling out with 100% accuracy. Can we talk to those kids? Can we talk to the teacher who witnessed this? Of course not, because this is another self-aggrandizing bullshit story from David Wilcock. Welcome to the wacky world of Wilcock. He's so special and so psychic. He's able to do all these amazing things, but yet he's always wrong. Like he was wrong about 2000. He was wrong about 2012. He was wrong about Corey Good. This moron super psychic sat right next to my reporter at an event, and he didn't know it was my reporter, this moron. He's not psychic.
At age 7, I had 100% accuracy in guessing what number they picked. And they even tried to guess a fake number, and that I wasn't going to get the real number that they'd already picked. And I got it in my mind. I said, come on back. You already picked the real number that you're going to give me next time, and the real number is 7. And that really scared them. That really scared them when I did that, and it ended my psychic club. We only met once. They didn't want this to
David Wilcock formed a psychic club at 7 years old. Sure.
happen again. And they all kind of forgot about it and didn't want to talk about it ever again, except for my one friend, Eric.
Yeah, do you ever notice that he always makes himself out to be this big, special, important person with super abilities, but he never proves any of it? This, my friends, is the mark of a pathological liar.
And he's the one who I started to do psychic experiments with. It included telekinesis of, the book is called How to Make ESP Work for You. And it's still one of the best books on ESP I think you can read. The point that I'm making is I used his techniques.
Oh, there's a point to this, huh?
And I got these results. And then they simplified his techniques and called it the remote viewing protocols.
Then why are all of your... If you were able to call out every number people were guessing with 100% accuracy when you were 7 years old, then why are you such a terrible psychic right now, you liar?
So the guy who wrote the book that I read when I was 7 years old from my mother, that turned me into a super psychic at 7 years old, where I'm doing this impossible thing.
Oh, he's a super psychic at 7 years old. Sure. Talk about this guy is literally a pathological liar. At 7 years old, I got turned into a super psychic. But he sat right next to John, who he claimed was Stephen from Canada and a terrorist. Right? He sat right next to this evil reporter that's, according to David Wilcock, trying to destroy him. If he was a super psychic, wouldn't he get like his spidey sense tingling and know that was a reporter associated directly with my show and not sit next to him? I would think so.
I actually guessed every frickin' number right.
And he has no proof of this fantastic story, of course, just like he has no proof that Stavati has hover cars, just like he has no proof that Stavati has free energy.
Over and over again at 7 years old. That's because I practiced Harold Sherman's exercises.
Okay. Oh, it's getting deep in here already, friends.
A troll is someone in the comment section.
Yeah, here, Macario says, Stavati now has an unlimited legal budget, and it's David's job to go after Stephen from Canada.
Who's after attention with negative views. It's absolutely right. So, yeah, we have an unlimited legal budget now. And the primary thing...
Here he is trying to scare me and other critics from continuing to cover his scams and his shady shit. I'm sorry. By the way, Culinary Quest. I'm sorry. I put your thing up on the screen. I forgot about it. I'm looking in the other window. I apologize. Culinary Quest. Wilcock bought the anal beads after Corey Good lovingly told him to grab his ankles. Ha ha! You are correct, sir, and thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Let's get some more super chats. Let's hit the goal tonight, friends. Felting this moron.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. The blue chickens command you to praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Praise it. Praise that cash, friends. And Moth, thank you. Thank you very much, Culinary Quest. I appreciate your support. Moth loves detracting. Says, how's the gout, David? I think you're confusing David with Darkside Phil, but we'll take it. Thank you, Moth loves detracting, who's a big show supporter. Big support tonight. Thank you.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Thank you. Moth loves detracting. And whoa, look at this one. The MVP. The biggest super chat of the night so far, Mr. Protractor, who is a longtime show supporter. And thank you for that. Mr. Protractor, very, very generous of you. I am blown away by your kindness and generosity, all of you. Especially, look at that, $50. Thank you. You deserve far more, Stephen. Thank you for your investigative work. No, thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. It is much, much appreciated. Big ups to Mr. Protractor, who's a big show supporter. And we thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. It is so, so appreciated. Thank him, Davina.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash.
I think people might start sending me super chats to not use those bumpers, right? That's some nightmare fuel there. Carrot Top was on Billy Corgan, Miss Therese. Uh-oh. Someday I'm going to meet Carrot Top. And when I do, I'm going to ask him about trying to gangbang my friend Terry Joyce from Not My Rabbit Hole. Hold space for my tribe, says, big fan. Are you the guy David is suing? Yeah, I'm the guy. I'm a reporter. Okay, let's be clear. I'm a reporter, and I have been reporting on David Wilcock's shady scams for years now. And he claims he's going to sue me. Yes, I am that Stephen. He doesn't like to say my full name because he doesn't want people to find me. But thank you, Hold Space for My Tribe. I'm glad that you found us. And please send our channel address to more David Wilcock people so that they can find the real truth. Let's continue in our journey here.
Thing we're going to do with our company is to immediately stop the internet harassment from taking place. That is what we're going to be doing. It's my job.
It's his job to stop the internet harassment. In other words, the mean tweets. And just to be clear, I don't care how much money you have. You can't stop people from saying mean things about you on the internet. Now, in certain cases, like David Wilcock accusing me of being a child predator, a terrorist, stealing money from his bank account, sure, you could sue an individual and make them stop making false claims, but he's never going to be able to stop people from saying mean things about him because he's broke and he's bald and he's gay. And I have a constitutional free speech and freedom of expression. I'm allowed to go on the internet and say, I think this guy's broke, bald, and gay, and he likes to get butt banged by big, hairy men. I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to say that whenever I want. I'm going to say it 3 more times tonight. Fuck David Wilcock. He's bald and gay.
And Michael wasn't going to let me do this show and write the slides until I did a healing ceremony in the house.
Yeah. Most people just call it cleaning the kitchen. To David Wilcock, cleaning the kitchen was a healing ceremony. This is a great clip. Macario says, I knew David was a dirty MFer. Money for years, he didn't clean his nasty ass kitchen. Even Michael, the Archangel, told him to get up of his ass and clean. That's why his hose is so cluttered that's why his house is so cluttered when he walks around. Yeah.
Where I got all the old cardboard out, I cleaned everything, and I had to clean my cooktop because for 4 years, more than 4 years, it's been a mess, covered with grease and particles and all this stuff. And I finally went in there and got the Formula 409 melted down through the really hard baked on grease, and I've got almost all of it. And it looks just like a mirror. I mean,
David Wilcock is basically admitting that he hasn't cleaned his house in 4 years. That's pretty bad. Now, I do have to say, in fairness to David Wilcock, that during the winter and spring and fall months at the cabin, my wife doesn't like the cabin except in the summer. She loves the cabin in the summer. She brings the kids, she brings her sisters and their kids, and we all have a great time all summer. But she's not, for whatever reason, she doesn't really like the cabin most of the rest of the year. So I go there and I work on the cabin, but it gets pretty grimy in there. Without her there cleaning it all, because she's kind of a clean freak and I'm a slob. So right now it looks like a college frat party happened in there. You know, there's beer cans and liquor bottles and pizza boxes all over. I got to clean it. In fairness to Wilcock, he lost his wife, so I guess he has to clean himself and he just doesn't do it.
it's fantastic.
It's fantastic. He cleaned his kitchen. How fantastic is that, friends? He finally cleaned his kitchen.
Great look with the sideburns and tossed hair. David is shimmering, says Hi DM.
Yeah, the tossed hair, right? Great look with the hair. I wasn't going to do it, but you know what? I'm going to do it. Somebody captured a new screenshot. All right. So, great look. The hair is a great look.
Great look with the sideburns and tossed hair. David is shimmering, says Hi DM. Yeah, I used to try to comb out these curls, and I realized, all I have to do is just wash my hair and then not comb it. And just actually, instead of fighting that, let's work with that. That's what my ex-wife Elizabeth taught me. Just work with what it wants to do. Dry it out, without combing. And
he had to have his wife teach him how to comb his hair. That's what he just said, basically.
Sure enough, man, you get this really cool curl. So I love it. And I do think that my grandmother is half black. That was one of the things she told me.
Oh, that's great. Oh, I have curly hair because I'm part black. David Wilcock is the whitest fucking cracker on earth. Look at him. He is a cracker. David Wilcock, you're a white cracker, bro. You are not black. I don't believe that. I believe that he's making this up, just like he makes up just like he made up the story about being a 7-year-old super psychic, right?
Me in a dream. That would make my father a quarter black. That would make me 1/8 black. You look at my grandmother, she absolutely looks half black. I was almost going to put her into this week's show to show you, and you'll be like, oh, dude, she looks just like Lena Horne. My grandmother does look like Lena Horne, so it's interesting. So maybe there's a little bit of kink in my hair. I don't know what it is, but it's interesting.
A little bit of black person, African American kink.
This is letting me be myself. I'm not trying to fight my body. I'm not trying to straighten it out. Just let it do what it wants.
He's not trying. Did you hear that? He said he's not trying to fight his body. I got to do it. I wasn't going to do it because this is a shallow thing to do, but I'm going to go there. David Wilcock is going bald something fierce. Look at how bald he is on the top of his head. Wait, we gotta do that one big. David Wilcock, he's broke and he's bald. Look how bald he is on the top of his head. Oh my goodness. His hair is trying to escape his body. And it's like the whole top of his head, the whole back of his head. I mean, he is bald, man. And listen, I have my own issues. In my family, at least on my father's side, nobody goes bald, but we get big widow's peaks. You know what I mean? And I'm starting to get that as I age, but I still got a full thick head of hair on the top and back of my head. No big bald spots or whatever. Oh, man. How do I not have a JPG viewer? Hold on one second. Oh, JPEG, maybe. Let's try that again. I wanted to put it into a media viewer so that we could zoom in, right? No, I can't do it. Oh, that's close enough. Anyway, he's talking about how good his hair looks, but when he bends down, I don't think his hair looks good. When he bends down and shows you that big balding head of his, right? Suffer hair. It's escaping. It's trying to escape. Let's go to the next clip, friends. We'll go back. Here we go.
Did you say you dreamed you had funding, or is it actually coming? No, we signed a very, very large contract.
But they still don't have the money.
First of
He's giving himself an out.
Others that we can get. He is now talking to them about, I got to be really careful about what I do and don't say here, but suffice it to say that we've let the cat out of the bag, that we can make spaceships, and that there was a former division of this company that had an interplanetary division and an interstellar division.
Okay, so he's claiming that they made interstellar spaceships. Can we see one of the interstellar spaceships? Can we see one of the interplanetary spaceships that your company made? Of course, he's going to say it's classified or some bullshit excuse for why we can't see it.
Because interstellar travel involves a different type of technology than interplanetary travel. Interplanetary travel uses...
Yeah, Macario says the company they are working with already has interplanetary travel, but they're going to build airplanes with Stavati.
more typical types of anti-gravity propulsion. Interstellar travel, you get into the bismuth solenoid.
Oh boy, that's a bullshit concept, by the way.
The solenoid is a metallic rod.
Yeah. If it was this easy to create an anti-gravity engine, just get some bismuth and a solenoid, then why can't he show us it working instead of just talking about it? This is the mark of a moron, bullshit storyteller.
Here we go. That's inside. Just relax, you guys. What happened to the hover cars? Exactly. If you would allow me to speak, I will tell you.
What happened to the hover cars? Now they're building spaceships. You notice with David Wilcock, okay, so he said for 3 years they were going to build hover cars. They never built one. Now he's telling people they're going to build interplanetary spaceships. You know, like the BS never ends with this guy. It's just like an endless stream of nothing ever real emerging from all of his fantastic claims. This is the mark of a pathological liar.
You that we're getting possibly up to $1 trillion to do hover cars. Okay, that's where
he's getting 800. Let's see, what is it? 800.
We're 829.
$829 billion they're getting to build hover cars, or 829 billion. I'm sorry, 829. This motherfucker is telling people that his company's getting $829 billion. This sounds like an Austin Powers movie, doesn't it? It's so stupid and so childish.
That's where 829 billion is now a number that's rolling around, which is like, what? I mean, where the hell did we get that from?
Yeah.
But that's what's happening. Now, that doesn't mean it's funded, but it means we're actually talking about stuff like that. Why? Because if we did all that, we're actually looking at a full-blown interstellar space travel situation. I mean,
he hasn't been able to build the hover cars yet, but now he's going to build interstellar spaceships. It's getting a little thick in here.
Have the bismuth solenoid. Bismuth is this metal that creates anti-gravity when you run electricity through it.
There's no truth or no proof that bismuth creates anti-gravity. I mean, if it was that easy to create anti-gravity, don't you think somebody would have run electricity through bismuth, put it on the bottom of a car, and created their own hover car? It's so easy. You just need bismuth and you run electricity through it. It makes anti-gravity. Show us a working model, you liar, you scumbag.
That's what the arts parts are. The solenoid.
Arts parts 100% was a missile casing piece. It had nothing to do with anti-gravity technology. It was pieces from a missile casing that has been confirmed by the government's Aero office. And thank you, Lord Ludicrous, who is a longtime show support. I think Lord Ludicrous came with the show. Like, I got the backdrop, then I got the lights, I got the microphone, and then I got Lord Ludicrous. He's been in the audience forever, and he's a big show supporter, so big ups and thanks for that. Lord Ludicrous, keep up the great work. If David is a super psychic, how does he not know who you are and where you live? Met Carrot Top a few times. Great guy and funny. I like Carrot Top. I think he's very talented. Absolutely. I think he's very, very talented. Yeah. So basically, David Wilcock is a big moron. Oh, you could just create anti-gravity. But thank you for that, Lord Ludicrous. And more nightmare fuel just for you.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Praise the cash, Lord Ludicrous. Thank you. At least the Avalon says gross. I think he looks better as a woman, right? At least he isn't all bald and gross, right? Elise, you're a woman. Wouldn't you marry him? You know, that other girl did. She was looking for a payout, I think, though, you know. Grim Scholar with $4.99. Somewhere an alien engineer is rolling their eyes at David. Yes, I totally agree with you, but praise the cash, bitches!
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
We're praising the cash pretty good tonight, which is good because for those unaware, that YouTube hamster wheel is telling me that we're very light this month. We are very light, but I try not to let it bother me, but it does make me want to get back on the hamster wheel and get it going faster, right? I got to do more shows. Yeah, but thank you very much, Grim Scholar. We appreciate you. Thanks for appreciating us. And we have another kind and generous person, Double Tap Ranger Outdoors with $8.99 saying, Suffer Willie, great seeing you. Thank you, Double Tap Ranger Outdoors. And you have to message me can you message me your YouTube channel again? Don't you cover like bushcraft and other stuff? Or I hope I'm not confusing you. I don't think I am. I think you might have sent me a channel link before and then I lost it somehow. But thank you for your kindness, Double Tap Ranger Outdoors, who's also a long-term show supporter.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty.
Yes, Spooky came with the show before anybody else did. I was terrible at graphics, and I found Spooky, who worked on Jay Widener's show, Reality Check, and I was like, wow, those are really nice graphics. And I'm starting a show. Well, I had the audio podcast. You don't need too much graphics with an audio podcast, but for a video show, for sure, it really helps to have good graphics. So God bless Spooky. All these great graphics, I couldn't do it. Stormcrow bottles of pee. Yes, David Wilcock's got bottles and bottles of pee.
Solenoid is a metallic rod.
Oh, I'm sorry. We got this one already. Let's go on to the next one. How many do we have? Not many to go. Yeah.
This funding community of various...
Macario just says Stavati is now in the Starship business. They were in the hover car business for 3 years. They never made a hover car. Now they're in the Starship business.
This funding community of various positive allies of the United States that we're now talking to, and we had a lot of stuff happen when we went to this event. I'll tell you, it's there's all this converging stuff, and we're actually now having people fighting over...
Yeah, the only person that John saw talking to them directly looked like Hobo Santa Claus. I guess Hobo Santa Claus gave David Wilcock $829 billion.
Who's going to do what? We had one guy try to tell us, oh, well, I'm the middleman, but you're going to get 20% equity and I'm going to keep the rest. Like, kind of that's what he was saying. It's like, well, no, I don't think we're doing that. So we found a fair deal, and it's extremely exciting. Again, I don't take anything that I say about those huge numbers seriously. The number that we actually agreed to is much smaller, but it's still...
Yeah. Don't take those huge numbers I talked about seriously. Even though I said we were getting $829 billion, the number we're actually getting is much, much smaller.
Exciting. Again, I don't take anything that I say about those huge numbers seriously. The number that we actually agreed to is much smaller, but it's still incredible for what we're doing. So everything has changed. We're anticipating a very rapid close.
So they don't have the money yet.
A week or two. So yeah.
Oh, the money's coming next week. How many times have we heard David Wilcock tell us the money's coming next week? Oh, man.
I've basically now, it's changed my whole life. I feel so much better. John Smetzer, you seem more confident and secure with yourself today than past shows.
Yes, because he's retreated to his echo chamber hug box where reality doesn't exist.
Absolutely true. Hover cars, yes. I hope we're not being lied to, and I can't explain why. Okay? This is far beyond the story.
This is far behind the stories that I've told 100 times on my show before about a big deal coming in and that we're getting funded and we're getting the money next week. This time it's really going to happen. Sure.
This is a wet signed contract that's already been wet signed, followed by a celebratory meal that is a closing ceremony once you actually do this. And so, no, there is no skepticism left. And I am confident.
Oh, I have skepticism left. I'll have the skepticism for him. Because what David Wilcock is claiming is that even though they're being sued by an investor that gave them $1 million and he never got his money back, he's claiming that another investor came along, didn't do their due diligence, didn't know that somebody already gave them $1 million and he didn't get a dime back. And so he invested $829 billion. Sure, this sounds totally legitimate.
Because we already know what it is. So we have one spaceship project. I think there's like a chemical rocket type of thing we can do to start developing space travel, and that's 450 million.
Oh, okay. So now he's getting 800. Like, listen to this guy. We're getting $829 billion. Then we're going to make a rocket ship, and we're getting $50 million for that one.
I think there's like a chemical rocket type of thing we can do to start developing space travel, and that's 450 million.
So not only are we getting 829 billion, we're getting 450 million for the rocket ship. We're going to build a rocket ship. And I know I've been saying for 3 years that we're going to build a hover car, and we never did. But now I'm telling people publicly, we're building a rocket ship. And this makes no sense either. Major plot hole. If you have anti-gravity technology, why do you need to use 100-year-old chemical rocket technology?
Which is, again, nothing compared to the other stuff. But now various funding partners are becoming aware that we can do the other stuff. And so if those crazy numbers turn out to be true, then we're looking at a massive space initiative to push us into space.
Yeah, we're going to get to space. They can't build a fucking drone. They can't build a drone. And by the way, I shouldn't be too harsh with saying they can't build a drone, because I once tried to build my own and I was like, this is a lot harder than I thought. But I tried to build a huge drone and I just kind of gave up halfway through. I was trying to build a 6-foot drone with 8 engines. So a little too complicated. But they can't build a drone. They've claimed they're selling drones, but they just buy Chinese drones and slap Stevati on them, I think. They've never shown any of them. But they claimed they'd be building drones. They haven't shown a drone yet, which... is not that difficult a thing, but now they're going to build spaceships along with hover cars. And Cloud Runner 20 just became a YouTube channel member, which reminds me to remind you that if you become a YouTube channel member during a live broadcast, we give you a big shout out and a big thank you. So big shout out and thank you to Cloud Runner 20. Now you get access to our members only archive, lots of extra goodies in there. Enjoy becoming a member and welcome to membership. Membership has its privileges, Cloud Runner 20, and now you get them. Congratulations, and thank you for your kindness.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. The blue chickens command you to praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Praise the cash, friends. Thank you, Cloud Runner 20. And we'll check in periodically with the Kick Chat to make sure there's no subs or gifted subs over there to call out. We call out every single one of them. And yes, there is one. FF9000 has heard the call of the goal, and on Kick has gifted 1 subscription, 1 sub. Thank you, FF9000, for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. Much, much appreciated. We love the Kick money because they only take a tiny portion and they give the rest to the creator. Praise the cash.
Ra commands you to bow down and praise the cash.
They do. They do command you. Thank you, Cloud Runner. And thank you, FF9000 over in the Kick Chat. Much, much appreciated.
To start exploring the whole solar system, to find out what the heck is on Mars, find out what the heck is on the moon. And we already know. The dark side of the moon, according to Dr. Pete Peterson, the insider who...
Yeah. According to Dr. Pete Peterson, the fake doctor with the fake education that ran Ponzi schemes himself and stock investment scams, who was a lifelong con artist and a fake digital computer pioneer. I know because I have a background in computer science. That guy never did any of the things he said. He told David that there's all kinds of civilizations on the dark side of the moon. But there's a big problem with this. China, Russia, and the United States all have satellites orbiting the moon with imagers. If there was anything on the dark side of the moon, China, Russia, and the United States would all know about it. It would be front page news. There's nothing on the dark side of the moon, David. And isn't it interesting? This man who claimed he was going to build hover cars, this man who claimed he was going to build free energy engines. Now he's claiming he's building spaceships that can travel interstellar. And he's going to build a rocket ship that's going to visit Mars and the moon and find out what's really on Mars and the moon. Something Elon Musk can't do. And he has billions of dollars. This is complete and total horseshit, friends.
Well, the dark side of the moon, according to Dr. Pete Peterson.
He's not a doctor.
Introduced
He's
me
a
to
con
this aerospace
artist.
Company. The dark side of the moon is like Manhattan at night. It's loaded with civilizations. They actually
I agree,
stay
content
in a
lasagna.
cone
We have
behind
all the
moon's
imaging. There's
orbit,
nothing
because the moon
there.
always turns the same face to us.
There's nothing
So
there.
They stay behind the moon with all their spaceships parked there, so we can't see them on Earth, because otherwise we could. So we're actually surrounded by these extraterrestrial civilizations, and they've been very transparent about it with the people in this so-called secret space program. And Chris is claiming that he's responsible for about 2,500 spaceships.
Yeah, just ask Corey.
I
Good.
guess there's like 3 or 4 main categories that he built. I'm starting to learn a little more about it. And one of them,
Okay, wait. Here. He's saying that Christopher Beskar built thousands of spaceships.
because the moon always turns the same face to us. So they stay behind the moon with all their spaceships parked there, so we can't see them on Earth, because otherwise we could.
Yeah, that sounds like somebody who told a bullshit story and got caught lying. David Wilcock, you moron. Read a real science book or a real book on astrophysics or on the history of manned spaceflight. There's nothing on the moon but rocks and dirt and craters, you moron. We have all the imaging. We have satellites that go around the entire moon, including the dark side of the moon, and have imaged all of it. So does China. So does Russia, and maybe even India at this point, you moron. But now he's going to claim that the CEO of his shady aerospace company built all these spaceships somehow. A guy who hasn't built a single airplane in 30 years somehow built spaceships.
So we're actually surrounded by these extraterrestrial civilizations, and they've been very transparent
Yeah,
about
in
it.
the land of make-believe. Only David Wilcock can see the alien civilizations on the moon and Mars. He's such a moron.
With the people in this so-called secret space program. And Chris is claiming that he's responsible for about 2,500 spaceships of, I guess there's like 3 or 4 main categories that he built. I'm starting to learn a little more about it.
He just said that the CEO of his aerospace company built 2,500 spaceships. I'm going to say that one more time. He's claiming that the CEO of his shady aerospace company, who's never produced a single airplane product or service in 30 years of being in business, somehow managed to build 2,500 spaceships. This sounds totally believable, totally legit. This is not a fake story at all, right?
And one of them, one of Chris's designs was it's a starship, okay, and it's kind of like a cigar shape, but it's got points on the ends.
One of his designs, just like the designs you showed us for all these fake airplanes that don't exist. Having designs and having a real spaceship that you build are 2 different things, you moron.
And then there's a big round circle in the middle, because that controls your steering. This thing is actually like a fighter aircraft. And when you have that big round circle in the middle, you can steer very easily with anti-gravity by
And then he's going to tie this in with the TTSA claims of building a spaceship bullshit.
just determining what part of the pie the anti-gravity is firing off of. So it's highly maneuverable.
If his CEO built 2,500 spaceships, shouldn't he be able to show us one of them to prove that he's not lying about building 2,500 spaceships? This, I would think, like, listen, if I came up to you and said, I built 2,500 laser guns, wouldn't you want to see one? Right? I mean, for real. Like, if I said, hey, I built 2,500 laser guns, and by the way, I did used to be into making laser displays and laser lights. Especially, they reached a point where China started manufacturing so many laser diodes that you could get two batteries and one part from China, and you'd have a really good visible beam laser. So I start building all these displays with motorized arms to make like 6 beams go up and down. But anyway, if I said I built 2,500 laser guns, which I haven't, but I've built a lot of laser displays, wouldn't you say, can I see the laser gun? And if I couldn't even show you one laser gun that I built while claiming I had 2,500 laser guns built already, wouldn't you call bullshit on my fake claims? Why are his moron followers not saying, let's see at least one or you're full of it? Why? This drives me crazy that he's able to just lie so boldly and so sensationally, and nobody's calling him out. Well, I'm calling him out. I'm calling you out on that. No, he did not build 25. He didn't build one spaceship, you moron, you idiot, you liar. Double Tap Ranger Outdoors says, thanks, bro, for the shout out. 2chan, put the links in the main chain. Main chain? Yeah, I'm not allowed to post on Reddit, at least not about UFOs and aliens, right? But thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Much, much appreciated.
Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Praising that cash, and Double Tap Rangers did it again. Thank you very much. Hit the thumbs up. 200 watching. Yeah, let's get everybody hit that thumbs up. It really, really does help. And thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty.
Well, we're going to have to change that to the Archangel Michael, right? Who, by the way, has recently come out and said that David Wilcock is a liar. Put my links to 2 of them in the main feed. If you email me right now at trueseekershow@gmail.com, I will try to do that. By the way, pinned in the live chat is the True Seekers new clips channel. And I'm going to go put it into the Kick chat. And we appreciate all of you that have already subscribed. If you're not already a subscriber and you go over to the clips channel, it's pinned in the YouTube live chat. I'm going to put it in the Kick chat right now. If you go over there and subscribe, just put in all capital letters, I subscribe to the Clips channel, or I just subscribed, and I will thank all of you. I'm going to pin it in the Kick chat as well. Clips channel, subscribe here. Please do subscribe. We're trying to get that monetized. Not really even for me. I'm trying to get it monetized for Spooky so that we have a way to give Spooky a little more income. You know, our sometimes... Spooky's worth a lot more than Spooky's very generous. Spooky's working for not very much money doing all the stuff that Spooky does. So my thought was, let's get a clips channel going. Spooky would like to do the clips going forward once monetized. Yeah, that's right. Once it's monetized, Spooky will be a paid editor for the clips channel, but we have to get it monetized first. Or we might work something out, Spooky. If we get it close, I'll just take it out of pocket for the first month or something, and we'll try to get you, taken care of. Spooky's earned it.
And that type of a ship is exactly what Tom DeLonge's team drew and was raising money off of, saying they were going to build. I only found that out like last year. Oh, yeah, that was Chris's design. Like, whoa.
Now he's saying that Chris Beskar designed the TTSA spaceship. No, That was Hal Puthoff, you moron. I know for a fact Hal Puthoff, that was his design. You just lied through your teeth saying that Chris Beskar designed the TTSA spaceship that they were scamming people with. It was designed by Hal Puthoff, you moron.
Of a ship is exactly what Tom DeLonge's team drew and was raising money off of, saying they were going to build.
And they never built anything, just like David Wilcock is never going to build a hover car, never going to build a free energy engine, never going to build an interstellar spaceship or an interplanetary spaceship. He's never going to build a rocket ship. It's all fake, friends.
Found that out like last year. Oh, yeah, that was Chris's design. Like, whoa. And there may be ships like that that already exist that he built. And there's others that are even more outrageous looking. There's a kind of a manta ray thing. It's very, very cool. It has flexible wings that go up and down.
Yeah, very, very cool fake stuff, sure.
And these are huge ships that you can have potentially dozens of people travel in them at the same time, maybe even more. They're bigger than any airliner we've got. The Starship business is very cool.
The Starship business is very cool. David Wilcock is now, not only is he in the hover car business and the free energy business and the super advanced jet fighter aircraft business and the missile business and the drone business. And remember, they're going to be in the electric vehicle business. They're also in the spaceship business as well.
Everything that's happening is just so exciting. So
it's so exciting. We're making all these fake products. Now, remember, they claimed that they were going to build hover cars, never did. Claimed that they were going to manufacture electric vehicles, never did. Claimed that they were going to be able to sell people missiles, bombs, artillery, bullets, and they never did. Now they're claiming they're going to build spaceships. Are we starting to see a pattern here? This is a pathological lying festival, my friends.
David, regarding the long-awaited deal, this is another donation. You can see that right there. My sources warned me in 2019 that the Intel AG are targeting specific people with Tuesday, Friday traps and drain them financially. Just be aware, says Sovereign. Yes, I mean, that's most of what we've had, but that's not what this is. The bottom line is that we have our SM-920 airliner.
That doesn't exist.
And the SM-920 airliner is a non-military project. All
doesn't matter. It doesn't exist.
The money that we just got,
except a plastic model,
is non-military. So let me be clear. We just scored a deal where the entirety of these billions that we're getting, and it is in that number, okay, the entirety of it is a non-military program. There's no fighter jets. There's no missiles or any of that stuff. It's just an airliner.
Very convenient.
And then some other stuff that's civilian use only. But the thing with the airliner is...
This is where he makes literally retarded comments here.
Chris came up with a proprietary M-wing design. It's like the two wings come together like this. And now you guys are going to say, oh, David just made the sign of Moloch. Or somebody's going to say... You can't do anything with your hands, okay? I'm trying to illustrate that it looks like an M-wing. Maybe we could say it kind of looks like Tramaw's glasses, okay? Tramaw's glasses.
Yeah, this is the director of exotic technologies for a major aerospace company. Sure.
There's a wing on each side. I don't know. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, the bottom line is that this is going to be much, much quieter than an existing jet. When you're on a jet, you're...
Yeah, listen. Have you ever taken a long flight, like a flight to Europe or something, or, you know, any 747 flight? He's basically right now going to say that you can't speak if you're flying in a 747. You have to yell. You can't even hear your conversation. Does he not know that those are jets?
It's going to be much, much quieter than an existing jet. When you're on a jet, you're... And it's really freaking loud. Well, if you take the exhaust ports and you shunt them all the way to the back of the plane, then the noise is not near your ears anymore. And we can demonstrate the decibels inside the cabin.
Yeah, with the computer program, because they don't have a real airplane.
When you're flying this thing in a digital simulation, because it does everything. The digital simulators do everything. We're talking about a very, very significantly quieter flight. You're talking about people being able to have conversation with each other on the plane without having to yell.
Without having to yell. Have you ever been on a flight? Did you have to yell at the person sitting next to you so that they could hear you? I mean, it is so stupid. This guy is supposed to be an aerospace executive. And I don't know. I've been on flights, but I guess a lot of commercial airlines use turbofan engines, not necessarily jet engines, right? Pratt and Whitney turbofan engines, but you can talk on an airplane. And what about the Concorde? That was for sure jet engines. Do you think those people paid all that money so that they had to scream and yell at the person next to him? He knows nothing about the aerospace industry. Nothing. He is bluffing his way through this whole thing.
And that it's actually quiet. You don't hear anywhere near as much noise. It's significantly, like orders of magnitude quieter. Then we've got, I'm going to just pitch it on you. I'm sorry if you don't want to be pitched, but hey, this is why we're going to sell at least 1,500 of these, because you're saving 30% on gas.
Oh, sure. They're so much better than everything else.
30% savings of fuel, which is astounding. We've got the wider, aisle so that you have room for the drink machine, the drink cart, and a person can slip by it without you having to move the drink cart. So we have that feature. You have large
wait a second.
cabin space, even on
the turbofan engines that are in 747s or most commercial airplanes are jet engines. So this moron just said that if you're on a commercial aircraft, you can't hear anything. You have to yell and scream. It's so loud you can't hear. That's a major mistake for somebody that's supposed to be an aerospace executive to make. Ana Luisa, and I apologize for my confusion. I just didn't want to give inaccurate information, but I looked it up. 747, that's a jet engine, friends. Ana Luisa with 2R. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Much, much appreciated. And Ana Luisa is another longtime show supporter. Thank you for your kindness.
Ra commands you to bow down and praise the cash.
Bow down. Double Tap Ranger Outdoors emailed you. Great live. Good old wacky Willie. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Much, much appreciated.
Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
None Rajadog 20 says, damn, someone should tell Elon he could help design the starship that doesn't go boom. Yeah, they're going to do better than Elon Musk, don't you know? That's how you can spot a liar. Like, if Elon Musk can't do it, what are the chances that this moron and his moron pathological liar who says he built 2,500 spaceships is going to be able to do it?
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty.
Thank you, None Rajadog 20 and Double Tap Ranger Outdoors with another one. Willie needs some meds, or is he that out there? No, he really is that out there. But thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. It is much, much appreciated.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Stormcrow pointing out something that I noticed. The M-Wing has no structural strength. Yeah, it just looks cool. Wilcock is an idiot. Well, tell me something I don't already know, Stormcrow. AZ says, I am loving him getting super defensive and chippy towards his fans, driving them away. Yeah, you are correct. I hope he is watching. He watches every one of my shows. He's such a narcissist, he can't help himself. He has to see what I have to say so that he could make up new fake shit, because he can't argue with me. This fucking moron just said that you can't hear if you're riding in a jet airplane. But on his, you'll be able to. You ever fly? Do you ever fly anywhere? to Disneyland, wherever. You probably flew on a 747 or something similar, a commercial airline jet. You can hear and you can talk. You don't have to yell and scream. But he's such a moron, he doesn't know this. He has no concept. He has no idea of anything in the aerospace industry. He doesn't even know that regular commercial airlines are jets. And you can talk just fine if you've ever taken a jet flight. Maybe not during takeoff or landing, but it might get a little loud then, but it's comfortable.
The 737 size or the Airbus A320 size, same kind of thing. We've got a larger overhead bin. We cruise because it's also faster.
Yes, his fake airplane is so much better than all those real airplanes that are out there. It's so stupid and childish. My fake airplane is better than the real ones out there. Great. Show us your airplane. I can't because it's fake and it comes from the land of make-believe.
Because of the way we design the wings, it can handle higher velocity. It cruises at Mach 0.95. So it's significantly faster. It's not quite as much as like a Concorde, which actually broke the sound barrier.
Oh, wow. Oh, my fake airplane can fly at almost Mach 1. Suffer, Spirit Airlines. Suffer, Pan Am.
But you can comfortably cruise at almost Mach 1, right below breaking the sound barrier.
Yes, in the land of make-believe.
And what does that mean? That means that a flight that used to take you 5 hours now only takes 4 hours. So let's see. It's a hell of a lot quieter. It's actually traveling at Mach 1 almost, so it's super fast.
Yeah, our fake plane is so much better than those real planes that you've been flying on for your whole life.
You get there fast.
But who cares if it's a fake plane? Show us a real plane that really does all these things you're claiming, you pathological lying scumbag.
You don't hear anything. It's a much smoother flight. The way the wings are designed, you don't get anywhere near as much turbulence. And you're saving
our fake
30%
plane
on
is
gas.
so much better.
Oh, it's also cheaper to make than the other
than
the competition.
Our fake plane is so much better than all those real planes out there. Our fake plane is so much more awesome than all those real airplanes that you've ridden on your whole life.
Today is our wedding. It's the wedding.
Macario says his delusion is off the charts. Now Trump sent Stavati an invite. Yeah.
Of this amazing initiative to actually get this technology out there. Finally, people are realizing, holy crap, these guys are serious. We have a non-military deal, so all the trolls, no.
Yeah, all the crystal hippie bitches got pissed off because he was selling bombs and ammunition. Did you stop selling bombs and ammunition and missiles to kill people with?
We don't know the exact number it's going to be yet, but it's definitely great. And so...
he said the contract was already signed. This is how you catch a liar. Remember earlier in a clip, he said the contract already signed, and we had a dinner to celebrate, a ceremony to commemorate the deal we made. If the contract's already signed, how does he not know how much money they're getting?
Definitely great. And so... we've already signed it. We already passed all the due diligence. This has been in place since last fall. And it finally catalyzed as a result of us being allowed to go to this Air Dominance Summit, which...
They paid to go to the Air Dominance Summit. They paid money to be one of the sponsors of the event so that Chris Beskar could give a 30-minute rambling presentation of fakery, in my opinion. And if the contract's already signed, how does he not know how much money they're getting in the contract, right? It's like amateur hour liar mistakes he keeps making.
Could, for all I know, have come directly from the administration itself.
Oh, Donald Trump helped them get this big deal.
I wouldn't at all be surprised at this point if there wasn't some, something happened because we were told we could not go. They said, oh, no.
Yeah, John Christian Spadavaccia says they paid a bunch of money to sponsor the summit. It's not rocket science. They were allowed to go to the summit? Yeah, because they paid to sponsor it.
We don't have any space for you guys. You're done. You can't come to this thing. And then all of a sudden, no, we do want you to come. We do want you to show up.
Yeah, because you paid money for a booth and to sponsor the event. They'll let anybody. I could be at that summit next year if I paid for that same spot they paid for. It means nothing.
Whoa, okay. What exactly just went down here? So you can kind of figure out what's going on. So yes, this is a
Sounds like a pay-to-play
huge
scam.
landmark in my life.
This is a huge landmark in his life. They finally got a big deal. I don't know how much the deal's for, even though we signed the contract already. What a liar. Show the contract. How would you not know how much money if you've already signed the contract?
Sorry that I didn't get this right before, but this is the Rudraksha. Rudraksha is how you pronounce it.
Now he's going to try to claim that those aren't anal beads around his neck. I don't believe it. Those are anal beads.
And it's a Hindu. It's actually, these are nuts that come off of an evergreen tree.
He puts nuts up his ass.
And they just pick them to be exactly the right size and shape and very round.
To put up your
Sorry
ass.
that I didn't get this right before, but this is the Rudraksha. Rudraksha.
Pardon me. We'll go to the next slide. They picked these nuts to be just big enough and round enough to fit up your ass easy. Nice. Those are anal beads. No one will convince me otherwise. Those are anal beads. Until I see proof to the contrary.
We are destroying the UFO cover-up, man.
Yeah, he's destroying the UFO cover-up by pumping the entire community full of completely and totally fake secret space and alien stories for 5 years with Corey Good. He's destroying the cover-up. Wouldn't most people say that he's a disinformation agent that has flooded the UFO community with fake stories for 5 years? No, he says he's destroying the cover-up. Sure.
We are destroying the UFO cover-up, man. When we get this company funded, which we've now done, I mean, we don't have the money yet, but we will probably within, I don't know, 2 weeks at the most.
What's he going to say in 2 weeks when they still have no money and they still can't pay their creditors and they still can't pay their investors and they still can't pay the judgment that was just issued against them by their accountant? They didn't pay the accountant, friends. He got a $30,000 judgment or something there. Something like that. $29,000 judgment against them for unpaid bills. But they're getting all this money in 2 weeks. So I guess all the creditors and the people they owe all this money to are finally going to get paid? Why don't you address that, you scumbag?
Is what it sounds like. Maybe not even. It could be 1 week. Could be days. It could be. It happened. Okay, that's the bottom line. It happened. Roger Zubarek, David, thank you for another beautiful show. Yeah, I also have the Elf King jacket over there, and maybe I'll put that on at some point too. But I wanted you to.
Yeah, I don't look gay enough. Let me put a gay jacket on top of my anal beads and my yellow gay shirt. Yeah.
Start out by just appreciating this gold shirt for what it is by itself. It's very Vegas-y, and it's really got something.
Yeah, it looks like a shirt Liberace would wear. Congratulations.
Great for all of us. So yes, I couldn't have done it without you guys. You have consistently watched my show. You've honored me with this enormous turnout. We already have 3,100 people watching live, which is incredible.
Yes. And by the way, he barely cracked 3,100 viewers last week. I'm going to say that again. He used to get 10,000 live viewers, 20,000 live viewers. He barely cracked 3,000 live viewers. Even the usual morons that watch him are getting bored of him repeating himself endlessly over and over and over again every week and promising funding's coming and hover cars are coming and ascension is coming and mass arrests are coming. People are losing interest in him at a rapid rate. And I think by this time next year, he'll be lucky to get 1,500 live viewers.
And so it's been a great time for us. You know, we finally broke through forces that are constantly defaming our company online, telling everybody we're a fake company that turns out to have no relevance.
Your own investor who gave you $1 million called it a fake company. He called it an investment scam and a Ponzi scheme in court documents, you lying scumbag.
To these investors, I mean, they talked about it, they were aware of it, but it did not hurt the deal. Not this deal. It has hurt other deals, but not this deal. So it just took the right timing. You know, it had to be the right time.
Yeah, a few months ago, Macario says Wilcock was getting 6,000 to 7,000 live views. Now 3K.
Everything had to come together in a beautiful way.
Suffer viewership, suffer live viewers.
Hey.
I think people are getting bored with his constant promise. You know, like,
So
I said, what if you tuned in to me every week and I said I'm building a death ray and I'm going to unveil it soon, and then 3 years later I still haven't shown you the laser gun or death ray I've been talking about building for 3 years? Wouldn't you just go, well, the guy's full of shit, I'm not going to waste my time with him anymore, right? Yeti Work Not News says, yikes, the dono thanks with Wilcock are disturbing. Glad you're on. Needed some entertainment. Well, thank you for that, and thank you for your kindness. And here's some more nightmare fuel for you.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. The blue chickens command you to praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Ha ha! Thank you, Yeti Work Not News. And Double Tap Ranger Outdoors with another one. He's the MVP of Super Chats tonight. Says, I'm not saying it's aliens, but it was aliens. Wilcock. Yes, and praise the cash.
Ra commands you to bow down and praise the cash.
Ra commands you, and so does the Archangel Michael. And if you people don't start sending lots and lots of super chats, I'm going to make you take baths in your own piss. I'm going to do it. Ha ha! Suffer piss bath. Dave with $2. Concorde was the only supersonic jet for a reason. Yeah, but he claims that they're going to be able to do it, right? They're going to be able to do it somehow. I think not, but thank you for your kindness, Dave.
Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
All right, we got to get to this next clip. Last Sunday, they tried to kill David with a tornado. It's just like when Trump was shot in Pennsylvania, says Macario.
So do you remember when I was on the show last week and I said, oh my God, it's so dark outside, and then we started to have hailstones falling down? Last Sunday, we actually had a massive tornado attack in my area. So,
notice how he said it was a tornado attack in his area? No, you moron. It wasn't a tornado attack. You had tornadoes in your area. It's a common weather phenomenon. It happens, right? Yes, thankfully, Steven doesn't hold the stream hostage for the goal. You know, I haven't even checked in with the goal. Let me do that now. Maybe I'll hold the stream hostage now, right? All right, we're at 16 of 30 for the goal. We're halfway to the goal. So thank you, Arlene, for reminding me. So this moron, David Wilcock, is saying, we had a tornado attack. We had a tornado. They attacked me with tornadoes. The deep state and the cabal, they attacked me with the tornadoes, with the weather weapons. It's called weather, you moron.
So when I told you around 2:30 p.m. that there was a dark sky, that was all a part of it.
By the way, how am I sending? He previously claimed that I might be sending weather weapons or so. I think he did. How am I doing that all the way from the state of Pennsylvania to Colorado? I must have a really good weather weapon.
So is this deliberate? Well, yeah, because imagine, I think it could be, because imagine
was it a deliberate tornado attack? Yes. Imagine if my home was destroyed while I was live on the air.
My home was actually destroyed while I was live on the air. I mean, here I am. I mean, I was talking about tornadoes the week before, so it would be very symbolic if I got hit by a tornado during my show the very next week.
Oh my God, this
and
guy's
we had tornadoes
moron.
right near us, and I never looked at the weather. I never got an emergency call on my phone. I didn't know it was happening. And I ran last Sunday's show during a tornado outbreak right here.
Oh.
It didn't make it up here, thank God, but there were a number of structures destroyed. People died, and it was right down the hill from where I live.
It must be the deep state and the men in black, David.
So, yeah, that was really, really crazy. And again, it shows you what are the odds, right? What are the odds that that would happen while I'm live on the air?
It's called a coincidence, you fucking moron. Do you know, I once we once had a huge thunderstorm while I was streaming here, right where I'm sitting. And right behind me is like the front of our house behind this backdrop. But anyway, while I was streaming, we had a huge windstorm, thunderstorm that knocked a huge tree down right while I was streaming. I said, damn weather, like I didn't turn it into material for my dumb as rocks audience. Well, I have a smart audience, so you guys wouldn't have fallen for it if somebody attacked me with a weather weapon and knocked a tree into the street.
That there was such a severe threat that actually I was an idiot to be on the air, and I probably should have been
There was such a severe threat by the weather.
hiding in my room down here in case the tornado hit us, but I didn't know. I hadn't looked at the weather and actually seen that was going to be happening. But somebody probably didn't want me to do my show.
Yeah, somebody didn't want David Wilcock to tell morons about aliens butt banging him and reptilian aliens eating him. So they concocted and created a tornado right near his house while he was live. Like, listen to him. This is a delusional lunatic that deserves a new room that's padded and a new jacket, right? A straight one.
And I was just too stupid, and I didn't realize it was a tornado, and it kept on going. And so that's the conference that I deliver to you guys live every week. Damn the tornadoes, full speed ahead. So again, if my home had been destroyed, wouldn't it be something they'd love if it happened while I'm live on video that everybody's watching? Remember what happened.
And now he's going to compare this to an assassination attempt. What a moron this guy is. What a bloated sense of self-importance, narcissistic freak is David Wilcock. My God. Oh, there was a tornado while I was doing a live stream. It was just like the Trump assassination attempt. And also, I love getting butt banged by 8-foot-tall reptilian aliens with 18-inch massive cocks,
In this other place. Yep. So think about it, right? That was when everybody had the cameras on him. And that was when all the world's media was broadcasting this thing live. And then
yeah. So somehow all the world's media is equal to David Wilcock doing a live stream, right? I do think that an awful lot of people would think it was funny as hell if he was live streaming and a tornado ripped his house apart. But I would never wish any ill will on Mr. Wilcock.
So do you remember when I was...
Oh, I'm sorry. We just did that one. Next. Geez, how many more? We got a lot more to get through. I thought we were almost done. No. If I have to suffer through this, so do you.
Nothing can deter me because...
Listen to this. This sure sounds like weather warfare. They're perpetrating weather warfare against me. Remember before when he said that people were creating wind near his house? Jay Widener explained that. The winds come over the mountain and go down in that valley where he lives, and there's tremendous wind. But to David Wilcock's paranoid schizophrenic mind, allegedly, I don't know, I'm not a psychiatrist, but he seems pretty paranoid to me. This is a weather weapon attack when there's a tornado near my house or high winds.
Nothing can deter me because the complex polycrisis that we've been through has just ended. What does that mean?
Well, that
means that anyone who is attacking me is now attacking a very well-funded aerospace company.
Yeah, so here he is again trying to scare off the critics. Any attack on me, including mean tweets, somebody saying I'm a liar, somebody saying I'm making up the hover car BS and I can't really do it, that's an attack on a very well-funded aerospace company, and we're going to sue you all into silence.
It means we now have an unlimited budget.
Unlimited budget to fight legal issues. Is it really a legal issue if somebody says you're broke, bald, and gay on the internet? I don't want to create legal issues for myself, but I think David Wilcock is broke, bald, and gay. I'm allowed to think that. That's not a legal issue. He can't sue me for saying that I think he's broke, bald, and gay, right? But look at this This is a tremendous bluff. We're getting 880, what is it, $823 billion. So you people better stop talking smack on me on the internet or I'm going to sue you. What a loser, David Wilcock. He is a loser, this guy.
To fight any legal issues that might arise, which completely alters the playing field.
Yeah, if you had $800 billion, it might. But I don't think anything's going to change because you don't have any money. And neither does Stavati. Until proven otherwise, I think this is just another the money's coming in 2 weeks bluff from David Wilcock that also enables him to try to bluff his critics. You better stop making shows about me being such a loser and a liar and a con artist, or I'm going to sue you with my $800 billion. And this whole thing is ridiculous. Like, let's go out on a limb here and say somebody did invest $1 billion with their company. Could their company take that $1 billion and sue everybody on the internet that says David Wilcock is gay? I don't think so, but in the land of David Wilcock, the wacky world of Wilcock, land of make-believe, the investors will be fine with them taking the money and suing critics on the internet with it instead of building something and generating profits so they get their money back with some profit. This makes no sense to anybody with a brain.
Another thing that I want to just remind you guys of is that you are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So,
wow, you're innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Have I been found guilty in a court of law of terrorism? Have I been found guilty in a court of law of stealing $7,700 from David Wilcock's bank account? Have I been found guilty in a court of law of being a child predator? Have I been found guilty in a court of law of sending death threats? Have I been found guilty in a court of law of getting David Wilcock swatted or harassing him or threatening him or anything? No. But somehow he's allowed to hurl all of those accusations against me with absolutely, positively zero evidence. Meanwhile, when we talk about things here, we show all kinds of evidence and receipts. And just because I think he's trying to say, like, I wasn't convicted of being a con artist, that doesn't mean you're not a con artist. It means you got away with it.
So somebody can say that you did this or you did that, and they can even say, look, we have proof and here's the proof. Well, you're not convicted of anything until you're proven guilty in a court of law.
I have not been found guilty in a court of law of any of the things that David Wilcock has accused me of. But yet he still feels free to make those evidence-free, slanderous allegations against me with absolutely no evidence. Stormcrow, with one for the goal, says this counts towards the goal. Yes, it does. And praise the cash, friends.
Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Stormcrow with another one who says, this does not count towards the goal, but we will take it. Thank you.
Ra commands you to bow down and praise the cash.
Yes, to count for the goal, they have to be 5 or more super chats tonight, but we're taking it easy on you guys. James4488 with a super sticker. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. It is much, much appreciated.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Double Tap Ranger Outdoors with another for the goal. Is he done now with TV shows? I'm assuming nobody will touch him now because of his lies and delusions. Well, the last business that he had with somebody producing a television show with him, he accused them of being Luciferian Satan worshipers. So, yeah, and I don't think anybody will hire him now. But thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. Much appreciated.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. The blue chickens command you to praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Yeah, and Soil Alpin says, outrageous accusations Wilcock throws about, it's self-projection. A lot of people have said that. They always accuse you of that which they do, right? Yeah. So this is more legal threats from David Wilcock. You better stop. I got a lot of money now and I'm going to sue all of you. I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it.
I kind of feel bad because the Alliance had slides, you know, that I could have potentially made, but at the same time,
Yeah, and this moron claims Twitter was down for a full-on week, so he couldn't make his Q-tard slides like he usually does. I think he was just lazy this week. He was too busy taking all those losses and that feltoning that we were handing him.
Ezra is, or whatever his name is, he's feeling the pinch.
Ezra, or whatever his name is. You said it was Ezra Cohen, you moron. We know it wasn't Ezra Cohen.
So now he needs to put out statements that he's not involved with the military and that, you know, he's claiming that he doesn't know anything, which we'll talk about that a little later. That to me is a sign that we're very, very close. If I was him, I would not want to be identified in the first wave of what's going to happen. And I don't think my work is going to be identified until you're several stages farther down. So you're probably going to see the whole first part of this play out, which is trials and arrests and shocking information that you never thought of. Probably several stages of that.
Trials and arrests.
Before you ever hear about me on any.
The mass arrests are coming soon, friends. How many times is he going to pull? The mass arrests are coming soon.
Public level, which means I've got a little bit more time than I thought. And I'm glad that I'm going to have time for our company to get started and we can actually go into that before I'm also thrust.
Yeah, if Ascension's coming this year, then why do we need spaceships? Why do we need bombs and missiles? Why do we need aircraft fighters? If we're ascending, we don't need any of that stuff. And we don't need hover cars either because we'd just be able to levitate, right?
In the limelight. But that's what's happening. So I took yesterday off to relax and process. It's a total game changer. And again, I did not get through all the Alliance slides. So this has been the most amazing change in my entire life. It is real. I'm not making it up. You can tell by my personality, like, you know.
It is real. I'm not making it up. When you have to tell somebody this is real, I'm not making it up, chances are you're making it up.
He's got nothing to worry about anymore, and that's true. Because again, I'm not even gonna have to spend my own money when it comes to anything legal because these are interests of the company. So now the only question is how soon we have accessible funds, which means your donations are still appreciated very much as we await the receipt. I showed up for you guys and I did not decide to cancel.
Yeah, so, big deal. I never decide to cancel. I didn't decide to cancel.
I am here. Angry Daddy is home and he is pissed off. But you can't be pissed off when you're in a shirt like this. Huh? I mean, it's just the smoothness and the velvety. It's almost like a silk, I guess, and it's just.
You know, every stream he talks about nonsense like what shirt he's wearing or his slippers or his shoes. That's why it takes him 5 hours to get through a stream because he's so self-important.
Really, really wonderful. So, if somebody wants to know something, you tell them. Well, yeah. So anyway, I showed up for you guys. We're doing the show. Thank you for being here. I'm very, very happy today. And everything has changed. And this just makes things that used to look like problems not even be problems at all.
Oh, sure. He's got no problems whatsoever now. All those legal problems, all those creditors suing his company, the investor suing his company, getting evicted from part of their property, losing the tax breaks that they were going to get for creating jobs. None of those things are problems anymore because I'm getting $823 billion. Sure.
And, I'm going to refrain from saying anything else because of the situation. But yes, it's a very good thing that our company just got funded, which means that we can now protect ourselves from
Steven. We can protect ourselves from Steven.
Stuff that's been going on for a very.
And what about all those other reporters that agree with me that Stavati is basically a scam? Like the Buffalo newspaper or the aerospace magazine whose reporting confirmed that my reporting was accurate. Are you suing all those people too? You're going to sue all of us?
Very long time. There have been extraordinary efforts being made.
Extraordinary efforts.
By someone, very obviously, to try to destroy our company. And we do need to get to the bottom of that story.
Well, if your company can be destroyed by people telling the truth while you're lying about the company, then you got bigger problems there, buddy. But I think I skipped ahead here somehow. One moment, because I'm getting confused here. About to get billions. One moment. Let me share this one instead. Yeah, we jumped ahead a bit.
Inspired by your work for 20 years. Love you and your genius, Leah. Thank you very much. Can you comment on the concept within a few months?
Macario says he has the nutjob followers who believe that they will have the powers of Christ because for years that's what Wilcock has told him. There is going to be at least one that has a full-on break that does something crazy because of this idiot. Now he's saying Ascension's coming in September. Before he said May, now it's September.
I will be healing people like Jesus. I don't doubt the physical capability of that happening. I'm curious about your timing. That's BA. Well, some people would try to say that's BS, but I actually believe you. I don't know if it's going to be a couple months, but again, Michael's prophecy said equinoxes 1 and 2. That's September 22nd is the next round. So I think we're getting pretty close. Nate Pierce says, wow, I love your books, David. Midnight Mark says, wow. Carol Whitmire says, amazing.
Yeah,
inspired by your
listen
work
to his
for 20
followers.
years. Love you and your genius, Leah. Thank you very much. Can you?
Okay. Oh, jeez. Jeez.
Oh, Derek Mulligan. Why does that guy Steven give you a hard time?
Why does that guy Steven give you a hard time?
Oh, Derek Mulligan. Why does that guy Steven give you a hard time? You must have stood on toes. Agent 9 has arrived. It's really weird. Yeah, I mean, this is a very obviously funded thing.
You guys are all funding me. You're all going to prison. I'll get the death penalty, but you don't worry. You guys that are funding me, you guys are at least getting life in prison.
And it now appears to be happening to all of the top influencers on that platform. So regardless of who
And I
you
have
are,
nothing to do with it.
people, there's the algorithm now is favoring certain accounts and they get millions and millions of views. And if you're not in that, then it's a lot. Everybody is saying it's a lot harder to get views now. I'm experiencing it as well.
He's blaming the detractors basically for his lack of views lately. It has nothing to do with the fact that he's been repeating the same tired pseudoscience, fake spirituality, crop circles, geometry, sacred geometry nonsense for like a full-on year now. Has nothing to do with that. Or all the empty promises for 3 years. We're building hover cars, and then he builds nothing. We're going to have anti-gravity, and then he shows nothing that works.
Over 150,000 followers, I believe. It might even be 170 something on X. And I only got like not even 6,000 views on my post for this show by the time I went live. So like, wow.
Yeah, that's usual numbers on Twitter X. He knows nothing about social media. He is a moron.
And everybody's kind of experiencing that, and it's probably something he has no control over, so I wouldn't blame our friend. I think that...
Yeah, don't blame Shadows of Ezra. It's not his fault the views are down. It's your fault, David, that your views are down.
You know, he's doing the best he can. He's done a whole heck of a lot for us. He's gone through threats far worse than mine, and he deserves our respect and compassion. And
worse than death threats and somebody stealing $7,000?
And so I do respect him. And I'm very grateful for this platform. And I think that it's all too easy for people to blame one person. I'm going to end up getting it too. I know that part of what's going to happen with this company is that people are going to want to blame me if one of them crashes. Or something. You're just going to have to deal with that. You know, that's just part of what it is.
Oh, it's just part of it. It's all part of it.
But again, the platform, there's something very strange going on. It keeps getting worse. And now, for the last 3 days...
My views keep getting worse. I'm going to blame Elon Musk and X.
It's been mostly shut down. You can't even see anything.
Yeah, he couldn't work Twitter for a few days, so he blames it on the deep state. What a moron.
So it happened when I needed to build my slides, so we don't have...
Oh, we don't have any Q-Tard slides this week. Boo-hoo. Yeah, now I think this is a duplicate.
Invite him on your show.
No, it's not. Here we go. This is where it gets good. Somebody's in his live chat, and I just want to put on the record, David Wilcock, I would go on your show. I would welcome you on my show and we'll have a real spirited conversation and debate and we can work it all out without a courtroom, right? But David Wilcock cannot do that. He is an intellectual weakling and a coward. And if he was forced to have even a conversation with me, I would leave him in a puddle of his own piss. He would piss himself. I would make him cry because I would confront him about every shady thing that he has been involved in years and all the people he has, in my opinion, stolen money from for new age nonsense of no value. He will never, ever have a conversation with me because he's a coward. Now, if his prophecies were so real and Stavati was really getting these big deals and going to do all these great things, why would he not debate a skeptic or a critic? There's only one reason he wouldn't, because he knows it's all fake and he cannot defend it in a debate or even in a conversation or an interview. But I think it's funny that even his followers are like, why don't you have him on your show? And we'll work it all out. We'll talk about the Pete Peterson GoFundMe scam. We'll talk about the Emery Smith PayPal donation scam, the Convergence Pictures LLC thing. We'll talk about your shady charity and how you may be allegedly using charitable funds to buy yourself multiple cameras. What do you got? 7 of them? They all cost thousands of dollars. And then you use those things you bought with charitable donations to do your now for-profit streams.
Invite him on your show, the Steven character. No, definitely not. This is a full-blown terrorist. I mean, this is a guy who makes death threats. He's apparently been sending people empty boxes as a threat. He's going after all the top influencers on this platform.
None of the top influencers on any platform have complained about me specifically. Only David Wilcock. Only David Wilcock. Right? So many lies it would be a 10-hour show, says Mr. Protractor. I agree with you. You're right. It would be a 10-hour show. Let's see what else. I think this is the clip where he says I'm the Unabomber.
And it's still happening, and that's the last slide in today's show, is where whoever Ezra is telling us about that. And so this has become a very, very significant issue. And for the health of our company, we have to get to the bottom of it, and we have to figure out, what is this? Because we can't.
This is a reporter who is accurately reporting on your shady company and your shady business dealings and has been for years. And we know my reporting is accurate because I reported many of the things first, and now other journalistic outlets like the Buffalo newspaper or Niagara newspaper, I don't know. There's some newspaper in New York that did a story where all the things they said, I already reported on months or a year prior. But they reported on the same facts that I did. So we know that my reporting is accurate. And Aerospace magazine reported on many of the things that I reported on accurately as well. So we know my reporting is accurate. That's what this is, David. This is a reporter accurately reporting on your life, which is in the shitter. Your life is in a dumpster. You are living a dumpster fire. And it's going to get worse the longer you keep doubling down and creating new lies to cover for the old lies. Oh, we're getting $823 billion. You've been saying that for 3 years, and the number keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. No one's investing money in your shitty aerospace company. You're never getting your money that you invested back. You got scammed, just like the guy who sued your company, who invested a similar amount of money that you did, calling it a Ponzi scam and an investment scheme.
Can't ignore it. We've got all different types of claims of tortious interference with business practices and harassment.
How did I tortuously interfere with his business? By reporting on the court documents that they were being sued by creditors, by reporting on the investor suing them. That's not interfering with your business. That's called journalism, you moron.
Harassment and defamation.
Harassment and defamation. How have I harassed you? With the truth? I have never spoken directly to David Wilcock. I have never replied to any of his Twitter threads or his videos. I have never said anything in his live chat. I've never spoken personally to him. I've never met him personally. Don't you have to do some of that to be considered harassing someone? I've never done anything. And as far as defaming him, prove that what I said was inaccurate. Prove that what I reported on all of the things I mentioned, the Pete Peterson scam, the anti-gravity's coming soon scam, the Corey Good secret space scam where you defrauded the UFO community for years, making people pay you to tell fake secret space stories at conferences, making people buy courses about fake secret space stories. Prove that all of the things I reported on were done inaccurately, or that I somehow got the story wrong. Make some slides, bitch. Fire up that PowerPoint that you got that looks like you run it on a Windows 98 computer. Come on. Make some slides and prove where all of my reporting was inaccurate. Because that's what you're going to have to do in court if you sue me. You're going to have to prove to a judge and a jury that I got all those stories wrong. You can't and you won't, bitch. Because my reporting is good and I pride myself on accuracy. And if we make a mistake, I retract it and I apologize for getting a fact wrong or a mistake or making a mistake. I've never had to do it in your case because you've never proven that my evidence was wrong. Never. And you never will. Pete Peterson was a con artist and a fake doctor with a fake education. I can prove that in a court of law to reasonable people. You can't prove your claims about him.
All kinds of stuff. So it's very, very serious. And now that we're getting funded, we are moving at warp drive speed to address this. In fact, it's like basically the very first thing I have to do.
The very first thing he has to do is sue me. Okay. Well, when are you getting the money? I didn't get any subpoenas in the mail. I didn't get served, and I never will.
Once we get this going. So, yeah, we've got incredible evidence.
And I haven't shown... I've got incredible evidence against this Stephen Cambion. If he had incredible evidence against me and he's so desperate to get me to stop so that he can keep grifting, wouldn't he have shown some of the so-called evidence that he has already? He's got incredible evidence. Then show it. I'm calling your bluff, bitch. Show your evidence, you lying scumbag. Show evidence that I'm a child predator. Show evidence I'm a terrorist. Show evidence I tried to extort money from you or your company. Show evidence that I stole money from your bank accounts. Show evidence that I'm sending people packages in the mail that are suspicious, maybe bombs. Show people evidence I got you swatted. Oh, that's right. We got the evidence that nobody swatted you, you lying scumbag. Oh, I have incredible evidence. You don't have shit. When he told the story telling people I stole $7,700 from his bank account, his evidence for me doing it was he took a bath, maybe in his own piss, and he asked the Archangel Michael, who did this to me? And the angel said, Stephen, Stephen, Stephen. Is he going to tell that story in court? Because I have the clip. I have the clip of you saying that's your evidence that I stole money from your bank account, you moron. You really think that a judge is going to let you waste a court's time with your nonsense? I don't think so.
And I've already basically written it all up. So
he's already written it all up. Then what's stopping you? He's written it all up. If you were going to sue somebody in civil court and accuse them of all the things that he's accused me of, being a child predator, being a Satan worshiper, being an extortionist, sending death threats, stealing money from his bank account, getting him swatted, being a terrorist like the Unabomber, wouldn't you get a lawyer to write the lawsuit? He just said that he has written it up. I'm going to say that again. He's claiming that he's got 800 billion somehow, and he's going to sue me to stop me from reporting on him, which is the textbook definition of a slap lawsuit, not allowable in my state, but whatever. But even though he has $800 billion, he wrote up the lawsuit. Well, I think this is going to go swimmingly well for you in a court of law in Pennsylvania, you moron.
We just got to put it out there. And so life is great. I'm actually not worried about anything. I'm in a very, very relaxed and happy place now.
He's in a relaxed and happy place. A few clips ago, he was saying that people are attacking him with tornado weather weapons to stop him from doing his show, but he's not worried about anything. Okay.
As a result of going back and seeing what we have and what we can do with it. And it's brilliant.
He's got nothing.
Winter says Stephen had your old boss on his show last week, David. That's great.
Ha ha! Stephen had your old boss on his show. Suffer, bitch! I had his old boss on my show who agrees with me that David Wilcock is conning everybody. He's not talking to angels. He doesn't have secret, sacred prophecies. He's a liar and a con artist and is losing his goddamn mind. Your old boss agrees with me. David Wilcock, suffer. It has just only begun. You will pay for telling people that I'm a child predator. You will pay for telling people I'm a terrorist. You will pay for telling people I got you swatted. You will pay for telling people I stole money from your bank account. You will pay for telling people I'm sending bombs to people in the mail. You will pay for claiming that I sent you death threats I never sent. You will pay, David. And you've only just begun. You have no idea what is coming for you.
On his show last week, David. That's great. That's great. That's actually exactly what we want. Please do that again and do more of it. Please do that again.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, he's going to invent some conspiracy that Gaia and Jay Widener and I are all conspiring to destroy his grifting career. Nothing could be further from the truth. I have only ever spoken to Jay on my show, face to face, like directly. I've never had any offline conversations with him or emails, except to arrange him being on my show twice, once to talk about moon conspiracies and once to talk about Wilcock. There's no conspiracy, and I've never communicated with Gaia, full stop. But he's going to invent a conspiracy that everybody's conspiring against him. Look at him. He's not worried about anything, friends. He's not worried about anything. Does this look like the face of a man who's happy that I had his previous employer on my show to tell everybody what a lunatic he is? Does this look like the face of a man who's not worried about me? Look at how obsessed he is with me. Every single show he does, he can't say this about me. Every single show he does, he talks about me, right? Willie Todd, I thought you did want to destroy his grifting career. Yeah, I do. I want him to stop taking advantage and scamming people. Yes. All right, let's finish up this one and we'll move to the next one. We're wrapping things up soon.
Anyway, yeah, you're going to learn some very interesting things if we have to defend ourselves. So that's all I'm going to say. And I love it. I mean, it's wow. I had no idea. The gold mine, 500% better than what I thought I had once I actually went back and did the homework.
Oh, he did the homework. He asked the Archangel Michael, who's doing this to me? And the angel said, Stephen, Stephen, Stephen. That's his evidence so far, friends.
Elon will be able to figure out who the ding dong is. Well, that should be true, right? I mean, like, okay, if the guy's name is either Enterprising Desert Raven or Resplendent Cedar Osprey, just ban those accounts. Why can't you just ban the account? Why is he still being allowed for weeks and weeks and weeks to just terrorize everyone? I mean, these are felonies. We're talking about.
Okay, now he's going to say it's terrorism and I could get the death penalty or life in prison.
You know, terrorism can potentially get you the death penalty.
There he goes again. He's going to get me the death penalty for making videos felting him and ripping his scam to shreds.
So we're not talking about minor stuff here, and we're talking about widespread extreme threats to other people.
None of which have I made. None of which can he prove I made because I didn't.
And just a level of hatred and malice. You know, we're comparing it in the suit that we're putting together to the Unabomber.
He just compared me to the Unabomber, friends. Let's back that up.
Of hatred and malice. You know, we're comparing it in the suit that we're putting together to the Unabomber.
Oh my gosh. I'm just like the Unabomber, friends. I guess I just missed the part where I have been caught building bombs and sending them to people. Notice how for several weeks he foreshadowed this. Steven's sending suspicious packages in the mail. And now he's calling me the Unabomber? Come on, David Wilcock. You could do better than this. At least manufacture some fake evidence against me, you fucking lowlife. Right? Like, you can't come up with something better than he's a terrorist. He's the Unabomber. He's sending bombs in the mail.
Okay, that's the best comparison you can make. Somebody who just wants to go after everybody in the entire community at the same time. And I just happen to...
No, we go after specific people. Go after is not the correct terminology. I report on people who are scamming their audiences. That's what we do here.
Be kind of how he got started and figured out what to do.
Oh, yeah. David Wilcock taught me to bust grifters. Maybe he did, because it taught me things like public records, how to get court documents, how to get charity documents. Maybe he did. I'll give him credit. He helped me become a better grift buster by watching all the scams and grifts and ripping them to shreds on the internet. Yeah.
LOL, he's part... That is actually true, yeah. I mean, my grandmother came to me and said she was half black. That was her secret, that she'd been covering it up. And she wanted to tell me the truth. And so, you know, there's pretty good evidence that it could be that way. And I'll see the picture sometime. LOL.
David Wilcock is now claiming to be part black. I don't even know what to say about that clip. I mean, maybe it's true. Why don't you do a genealogy test? 23andMe or something and show us what % black you are. But based on the cracker I'm looking at on my screen, I don't know, man. He looks pretty white to me. He doesn't look part black. But who knows? Maybe he's telling the truth about that one thing. I mean, I don't know.
David, what about the summer solstice on June 21st? Well, yeah. To get to the time of...
Yeah, now he's going to try to explain why he shifted his prediction of Ascension is coming in May 2025 to now saying Ascension's coming in September.
We're in this...
But then earlier he said that he always gets it wrong. Some psychic.
In the September 22nd range, I think a lot of things are going to happen before then. But remember that if we get disclosure, we get told that there's ETs all over the universe and they've been here on Earth the whole time.
Ha ha, what a moron. Yeah, he really thinks that's going to happen soon, friends.
Yeah. Look at this, you guys. Look at this. What do you think about the...
Look at his... He had to put a jacket on to make that outfit even worse. It doesn't get much gayer, friends. Anal beads, a Liberace yellow shirt, and now this. I think it was Lilith said it looks like somebody made a jacket out of a sombrero.
The Elf King jacket, man. I mean, this is some serious sizzle. The David Wilcock sizzle factor has been appropriately expanded in perfect accordance.
He doesn't even tuck his shirt in. He looks like a slob. I don't know. This is entertaining to him.
You should give the president a new Air Force One. We're absolutely happy to do that. I think, again...
Now he's going to give the president a better Air Force One. Osiris Christensen says, David's upbeat demeanor today is simply a delusional cope. He's using the Stavati funding falsehood to duck from the legal woes he's embroiled in. I agree.
Once you find out how much faster and quieter it is, you're never going to want to go back. And maybe that's why the UAE was like, yeah, you can have this. We're getting ready for something a lot better here. You should give the president a new Air Force One.
Yeah, Not only is Donald Trump giving him a job in the Trump administration as the ambassador to the aliens, but he's going to build Donald Trump a better Air Force One. I mean, did the delusions ever stop with him? He was a 7-year-old super psychic. He's getting $823 billion. He's inventing anti-gravity and free energy. He's building interstellar spaceships. I mean, it just gets worse and worse, or better and better, depending on your point of view, I guess.
Thank God our company got funded. I am a totally different person. I mean, look at my clothes. We have gotten a very, very significant thing that has happened. It's going to change everything. It is totally amazing.
It's going to change everything, as he's still sitting there begging for super chats to survive in his multi-million-dollar mansion. I don't think anything's going to change, and I don't think he will ever explain this time he said that they got funded. You know, like they're just going to keep going on, not paying their creditors, going bankrupt. Nothing's ever going to change. They're never going to produce a single airplane, and he'll never admit that he lied or that he was lied to.
Our company is not going to be stopped by internet trolling. They don't even care about that, these particular groups, thank God. But again, we're not just talking
We're not
about
getting
theoretical
stopped by
stuff
them
here.
trolls.
Thank God our company got funded.
Our company got funded. He said they got funded. That means hover cars should be here within a year. Because, this is another huge problem for David Wilcock. Let me explain. When David Wilcock started the anti-gravity free energy scam, where he sold people a course that was cobbled together from the internet and nothing original, and he told people, if you give me $333 and take my anti-gravity free energy course, you'll be able to do it too. When he started that scam several years ago, he said they would have a working hover car prototype within a year of getting funded. Now he says they've got funded. So he should be able to show everybody a working hover car prototype within 1 year. He forgot about his previous lies when he jumped in with these new lies. So we're going to start a countdown timer. Let's do that now. This is fun, right? All we have to do to start the countdown timer is we have to look at his YouTube channel. Bear with me one moment while we do this. We'll get the date of his last stream, which is this past Sunday. Or we could just do it with the calendar. So that was May 25th, 2025. So you can just Google this, countdown to May 25th, 2026. And we do have the clips. So there you go, friends. This is our new David Wilcock is a Liar countdown. David Wilcock previously said that within a year of Stavati getting funded, he would be able to show everybody a working hover car prototype. Oh shit, David Wilcock, you just have 362 days left on that scam, right? Billy Badass says, have you thought about suing him for slander? I don't want to waste my family's money on this lunatic, but thank you for your kindness.
Ra commands you to bow down and praise the cash.
And we've got Maricos Chihuahua with a super sticker. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Much appreciated.
Praise the cash, praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty, praise the cash. Praise the cash, praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty.
I thank you very much, Mariscos, for your support. Lord Ludicrous, with a very good point. If ascension is inevitable, why have an aerospace company? Exactly. Arlene says, if Wilcock is all about ascension, love, and light, then why is he associated with weapons and lawsuits? Exactly, because he's a fraud. But back to our countdown. I'm going to find the clip of him saying working hover car prototype within a year of getting funded. Tick tock. TikTok, David Wilcock, you only have 362 days to show us a working prototype. Maricos Chihuahua, with one for the goal, says the airplane grift is bold. A person may have to be delusional to believe they can continue this for any length of time. I agree. And thank you.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. The blue chickens command you to praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
It's true, Maricos Chihuahua. How long can he keep up with these lies before everybody knows that's what they were? They were just lies, right? But let's get back to the delusion stream here. Matt asks, does his mom know he's wearing her curtains?
I am a totally different person. I mean, look at my clothes. We've gotten a very, very significant thing that has happened. It's going to change everything. It is totally amazing. Our company is not going to be stopped by internet trolling. They don't even care about that, these particular groups. Thank God.
Oh, thank God.
But again,
getting that money.
We're not just talking about theoretical stuff here.
We're not just talking about theoretical stuff. Great, then show us something working. Can you show us something that works? Oh, you can't show us anything that works? Then we're talking about theoretical stuff here then. If you can't show us something that works, then we're talking about theoretical stuff, despite your claims to the contrary.
I mean, I really did believe that we were going to see a solar flash in 2012. And this was one of the main things that made me think that. And obviously the beings wanted us to speculate.
Oh, that's why he was wrong about his 2012 predictions, because the beings wanted him to speculate.
It wasn't until Michael Prophecies comes out that I realized, no, we can actually safely push it ahead to 2025. And that's when we're actually going to get this first wave that apparently is like the Galactic Family Reunion. There's disclosure.
We're going to get disclosure, open ET extraterrestrial contact, ascension, and mass arrests, all in 2025. Well, again, David Wilcock, TikTok, motherfucker. We're going to have another countdown for you. Days until January 1st, 2026. We'll do another countdown timer. So, 218 days. So he's got 363 days left to show us a working hover car prototype, because he says he's not a liar, and he said that within a year of getting funded, his company getting funded, he'd be able to show everybody a working hover car prototype. So that countdown is 363 days. Unfortunately for David Wilcock's dumb as rocks moron followers, he's got 218 more days to extract as much money out of them as possible before 2025 ends, and no ascension, no disclosure, no open extraterrestrial contact. So he won't be able to collect money on this scam anymore, but don't worry, he'll pivot to a new scam.
And it looks like it's all being set up. And again, the higher beings have chosen me to do this job. So
yeah, higher beings. Could you imagine being like an angel and going, we've got a very special mission for Earth. Who can we get? Let's get this con artist that's been scamming New Age morons out of money for decades to do this for us. Sure. And let's give him prophecies that don't come true and help him extract $333 from a bunch of morons on the internet.
Even if the people in the alliance ended up hating me, they're still stuck with me. They're going to have to work with me anyway. But when you got an outfit like this on, I think a lot of things are quickly forgiven.
Yeah, I wouldn't forgive a friend for wearing an outfit like that. I'd punch him in the face, but that's just me. And I'm not advocating anybody punch Wilcock in the face.
What we're going through is very...
figure of speech. Okay. David is an idiot, says Macario. His followers that can listen to him say this and still give him money, they have real mental issues. He says the military can decloak a ship and show we have the tech the whole time. Here is Tavarity Arrow that wants to build all this stuff that the U.S. already has. Exactly.
What we're going through is very much theatrical. It's very much like a movie. They are apparently going to return. It's very exciting. I mean, Do I know for a fact that this is really going to happen in 2025? No. Do I think that these beings have set me
Wait,
up for...
what did he just said? He doesn't know if it's really going to happen. He's been saying for years that Ascension is coming in 2025. Of course, he said for years that Ascension was coming in 2012 and it didn't happen. He also said Ascension was coming in the year 2000 and it didn't happen. Now he admits he doesn't know if this shit's going to happen.
In 2025? No. Do I think that these beings have set me up for failure? No. Go back to EB from Roswell. He said that the beings were coming back in 2025. He had the list of 8 different prophecies that all correlate to 2025. I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to keep doing this. And, you know.
Yeah, as long as everybody's sending me thousands of dollars a week, I'm willing to keep grifting.
They're going to have to make it up for me somehow beyond just getting these big orders if they don't show up in 2025. But I know they will. Because, again, it's like a formula.
He knows the aliens are definitely showing up in 2025. Remember, we're going to have open extraterrestrial contact sometime in 2025.
Once they do the arrests, then you have the trials. Once they have the trials, then you find out they've been covering up UFOs. Maybe they're going to fly the stuff decloaked. You're going to see it in the air. You're going to say, wait a minute, is that aliens? No, it's...
They already have all this stuff. Then why does he have to get billion-dollar deals to make it for the government if they already have it? Very good point raised by Macario.
It's actually the military, and everything's great, and we've had this stuff all this time, and now here's this company that we've already built, and we want to build all that stuff and go right into space, and now people are talking about, oh yeah, you got a bit. The budget would be 829.
Didn't he say 823 billion? Now he's saying 829 billion. He lost a few billion there, or gained a few billion. It's just gotten grander again. It was 823 billion. Now it's 829 billion.
Okay. Yeah, we could do that. I mean, let's go into space really fast, and if we spend a lot of money, we can do it really fast.
Yeah. Wouldn't Elon Musk be able to do that? He literally said that they were going to build interstellar spaceships. Elon Musk can't do that, but David Wilcock and his shady, scummy CEO, Chris Beskar, who lied about Star Wars armor and working on the prequels, he'll be able to do that. Wow. Oh, wow.
Now, if you remember last year, I had this horrible sty on my eye for so long. I didn't even want to do videos because it was this swollen thing.
He found a crystal in his eyeball, apparently.
And it was on the edge of my eyelid right here. It was probably because, you know, of being licked by a dog, and I got parasites in my eyelid.
No, I think he put his finger up a dog's asshole and then rubbed his eye. I'm allowed to speculate. If he's speculating about Ascension coming in 2025, I'm allowed to speculate about how David Wilcock got that horrible herpes sty on his eye. I think he put his finger up. He was fingering a dog's asshole, right? He was just jamming his fingers up a dog's asshole, getting off, maybe cranking one out at the same time. And then he touched his eye, and then he got this infection from the dog shit that he put in his eye by rubbing his eyeballs. I'm allowed to believe that. I am.
And then particles got in there, and it turned into a sty, which is like a zit on your eyelid. And I tried to pop it so many times, and I couldn't. I started to use colloidal silver. I was putting that in my eye.
No, that's great.
And
please,
it
nobody
stayed in
take
there
medical
for, my
advice
God, like
from this moron.
I could not get rid of it. It was like there was this slug living on my eyelid.
Please do not take
Finally,
medical advice from this moron.
I pushed on it really, really hard one night, one afternoon. And I had to actually kind of like push my eye into my socket. It was uncomfortable. It did hurt. But the damn thing just popped out, and this tiny little crystal came out. and I filmed the crystal in this video that you're going to see.
Oh, boy.
It was like finally the blockage was released, and it actually looks like...
The blockage was released. That's how I feel every time I take a good shit. The blockage is released. Hallelujah.
There was a little quartz crystal inside my eye. When you see it, it's dazzling. It's like, how the heck did that happen in David's eye? It's like the crystal sword of Archangel Michael is what it looks like.
Okay, sure. David Wilcock is so desperate for material that he's telling his moron followers that he had a quartz crystal stuck in his eyeball.
Baby shampoo, no tears, ew, gross. Yeah, it was a really crazy thing. But again, you're going to see what came out of my eye. And it might be hard to believe, but I just put it on my little vanity lamp, It was very small, and thanks to the magnification power of the 3 lenses on the iPhone, you can really see that it's a crystal. So it seemed like it was
It doesn't look like a crystal. It looks like a piece of dirt or something. I don't know.
the sword of Archangel Michael. And now here we are, approximately a little over a year later.
Why would the Archangel Michael stick a piece of his sword in your eye? This makes no sense. This guy is just nonsensical, rambling nonsense.
And my lawyer just got really sick, so that's another aspect of this. And we have Lori Hoffman. You are amazing. Thank you for all your hard work. She donated $30. Yeah, so, dude, it was fascinating because, again, he's got like double pneumonia. He's got really bad COVID.
His lawyer has double pneumonia, really bad COVID, and both of his parents are dying.
Both of his parents are in the hospital. It's this terrifying situation.
Maybe that's why your lawyer has been so terrible in that Gaia case that he's supposed to be handling for you. Maybe you need a better lawyer, Mr. Wilcock. 4 to go.
And
Let's get
created
through
a
this
playlist
shit show.
where all the Steely Dan, Donald Fagen stuff that I like is looping. So I got like the whole album Major, the whole album Nightfly, and then a couple songs from some other albums, including Time Out of Mind. And in the song, he says, "It's perfection and grace. It's a smile on my face."
I can't believe he does this shit in public.
So I've been listening to this song, right? And I keep singing along with that part and other parts of other songs. And then he says, "A smile on your face" in the time loop. And I had just listened to the song again before I'd unsealed this.
Oh,
was
that's a
actually
big
scary.
prophecy.
Some of these things are actually scary.
The angel knew he'd be listening to Steely Dan lyrics.
Whoa. All right. Yeah, the smile on my face.
Matt Murray says, or it's a demon. David Wilcock totes the kind of retard to sign away his literal soul in return for fame and fortune. This particular demon seems to have a sense of humor, as it's much more infamy and criminally acquired wealth than it is fame and fortune.
And I was just listening to that song. Dang, dude. Thank you, Michael. This is a very, very exciting kind of thing that you're able to do. I don't know how you do it, but it keeps working.
It's not working. He's making this shit up.
Now he says we must find new plumbing, new carpentry, and new piping. Sorry, I got that in the wrong order. The will of the one creator is satisfied in all its various...
Could you imagine writing all this stuff on slides and like really taking it seriously?
...forms. And so as I unsealed this, I was like, you know, it's prophetic of the fires, that these people all have to find new places to live, new piping, carpentry, and plumbing.
Why didn't they know that this was prophetic for 2025 in 1999 and start talking about it in 1999? Oh, that's because he was lying to everybody, telling him he was channeling Ra, and Ra told him Ascension's coming next year in 1999. Now he somehow retcons this into, well, these are prophetic prophecies from the Archangel Michael, and I'm not supposed to open them until 2024, and you know, because they're going to happen. And this makes no sense.
Plumbing. And it's prophetic of my not continuing to live here, but heading off to Florida as per Michael's suggestions.
He better not move to Florida. I don't think he could take the wind and the thunderstorms there. The deep state attacks are too much. They're going to be too much for him. 3 to go. Let's get this over with.
Do not think of this as a stumbling block or an underarm deodorant that causes you severe distress.
Underarm deodorant. Why would an angel be talking in these terms? Don't think of this like underarm deodorant to stop BO. What kind of an angel? This is so childish and so
stupid. By which his
personal
growth comes to fruition, wherein you are no longer responsible for anyone but yourself. You're not living through a benefactor of any kind. Well, holy crap, I've needed a benefactor to bail me out because of
yeah, he's got a sugar daddy.
But now we just got a deal.
I wonder what he's got to do for that sugar daddy.
Close within 2 weeks or less.
Ew, butt stuff, I bet.
Indicates that it will.
I bet she's got to do butt stuff
exactly
with a benefactor.
What's going on right now. I've just now got the money to be able to not have to ask people for help.
He didn't. He said earlier they didn't get the money yet. Now he's gotten the money.
I mean, I still love it when you guys send donations, and please do.
Yeah, I love it when you guys send donations. Don't stop sending money. I got all this money. I don't need any benefactors, but keep sending me your money.
And, you know, if nothing...
By the way, that was a message to my audience as well. Keep sending me that money.
Else will donate them to a good cause if you know, But I'm still happy.
Yeah, he'll donate the extra money to a good cause. Kind of like he donated all that money his charity took in to himself.
To
Yeah.
receive that, and it's a fun way to interact.
He bought a lot of cameras and webcams and toys and microphones and software for himself and computers. He sure donated all that charity money to charity. He spent it on himself. Now he's saying, well, if I have extra money, I'll give it to charity. You mean your charity where you just spend all the money on yourself or most of it, allegedly?
With you guys, and I really do like it. So, again,
I really do like it when you morons send me money. Yes, and that
No
was
longer
that was
responsible.
what David was saying. I'm not saying that to my audience of smart people.
well, for anybody but yourself, you're not living through a benefactor of any kind. This is something that is just starting to happen. And I'm no longer going to have stinky armpits, as in bad debt, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Why do stinky armpits equals bad debt now? Oh man. Oh man.
The guy who calls himself Ezra, whatever the real name is, has started to take precautions and make statements. Now, again, I talked about how I'd send him direct messages. Up until this happened, everything that he gave me was very positive, mostly just emojis.
Yeah, now he's
Really get
saying
to
he's
it.
crazy.
But you guys have been trying to send him messages and say, are you working for the Alliance? Well, they said operators never divulge. So he can't tell you what he was.
Even his followers are like, I think David's lying and this guy's not working for the Alliance. No, he's not, because the Alliance doesn't exist, you fucking moron, David Wilcock.
If he is. But maybe because we're so close to the edge, that's why he actually told me in this thing, he wrote me a letter denying that he is involved in the military or denying that that's his name.
Yeah, he did. And he also said David Wilcock sounds crazy. And I have another clip from Lilith to play for you, in which the Shadows of Ezra guy, who's David Wilcock has been licking that guy's balls for years now, sharing his Q-Tard posts, basically makes fun of him for his time-traveling dinosaur nonsense. I'll play that clip next.
And, you know, I was okay with that. I was okay with that because so much stuff has happened that I told him, no matter what, whatever you want to call it, something magnificent is moving through you. I have a theory as to what it is, but your material is closer than anything
Your
else I see
Q-Tard
online,
material
and
is
what I
so
know the
great.
truth
Your
is.
Q-Tard
So if
posts
you are a private
make my
individual,
Q-Tard cock
if you're
hard.
somehow doing this and there's some magnificent thing happening, whereas you choose these videos, the number of seconds helps us keep reviewing this over here.
This is only the
learning
seventh
and
Ascension
remembering what
BS
they
they
said, 'cause it's all
promise
coming to a
Wilcock
head
has
now
screwed
anyway.
up. Yes.
I believe there's a whole lot of intelligent design in the choice of the number of seconds. I read it to you every week. So I think that he's probably just feeling a lot of heat and he doesn't want to be directly associated with this as the final stage
No,
happens.
you moron.
So I told him again, this is the closest data to my briefings on the Alliance.
No, you moron. He doesn't want to be associated with some idiot on the internet that's talking about time-traveling dinosaurs like a complete and total mental case lunatic.
And ask yourself this question, if you were him, would you want everybody looking at you as all this stuff starts to happen?
David Wilcock is coping because this Shadows of Ezra guy wants nothing to do with David Wilcock, and I'm going to prove it to you in a moment.
No. Denial is a much safer approach right now. And in the posts themselves, they said operators never divulge and disinformation is necessary. They also said 3 people in the Alliance are civilians.
They do not, none of the posts mention the Alliance. That's David Wilcock's fictional group.
So, yeah, maybe he's not in the military. Maybe he happens to be an insider in something else. There's other things besides just the military. So, again,
David Wilcock previously said that Shadows of Ezra was Ezra Cohen and he was going to work for the government and get me arrested. I guess that's not happening, you moron, David Wilcock, you total idiot.
I think that there's a point here. I don't want him to have to make a public statement. So let's just say that he is officially denying that he has anything involved with this, and let's just leave him alone.
Yeah, in other words, leave him alone so that I don't look like a liar, because I've been saying he's the Alliance communication director for years, and it turns out that was just a fantasy that I concocted in my own land of make-believe imagination, and it's not real. And he doesn't want his followers confirming that with this guy.
And don't try to, he's never going to tell you anything if he was, and maybe he isn't. I don't want to cross-examine. I don't want to get into a whole lot of detail
Yeah,
about
he doesn't want anybody fact checking his previous false statements about this guy.
how could I prove that he's really an insider. Let's suffice it to say, I get provocative statements every week, and I'm like, where the heck did he get that from? That's not commonly known. So to me, there's been multiple ongoing signs that there's
I
something
love
going
his
on. I don't know what
Q-tard
it is,
posts.
but
He's
I'm
the
going to ask you.
You said he was the Alliance Communications Director, and you also said he was Ezra Cohen. Both of those things are demonstrably false at this point. You lying scumbag grifter, Wilcock.
Guys, because again, you're the audience. You're the one who really loves the show.
Do you want to see those Q-tard posts every week?
Want me to keep making Alliance slides? Do you want me to keep promoting and producing this part of the show? And I believe the answer is yes. I mean, everything
Yes, Wilcock, please show us the Q-tard posts every week, because that's half your show.
is really good, and it's great material. It's tied in very beautifully with the Michael Prophecies, so I really hope that he will continue to say it's okay for me to do these slides. He hasn't said for me not to.
He hasn't said for you not to, but he's making fun of you for being a wackadoo who's talking about time-traveling dinosaurs in your show. He has made fun of you, and I'm going to play the clip to prove it.
And I think it's been great promotion, because back when I started doing
Now he takes credit. Oh, he was only getting a few thousand views a post. Now he's getting millions. So it's because of my promotion of him. He does not want David Wilcock sharing his material, and I'll prove it to you right now. This comes from Lilith, Mother of Dreams. This is Shadows of Ezra making fun of David Wilcock's wackadoo bullshit fake ass stories.
Literally send me like stuff about dinosaurs from space or time traveling dinosaurs. I don't know about those things. I have a very open mind. I just can't talk to you about time traveling dinosaurs. I don't know much about it, so I don't know what to say.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what that.
So basically, he's saying some lunatic sent me David Wilcock's time traveling dinosaurs. I don't know about that. I have an open mind, but that sounds crazy to me, right?
Not like.
They've been talking about dinosaurs lately. I've been hearing that. It's been coming down the pipeline. I don't know.
Yeah, I get a lot. If somebody started a Twitter just posting the DMs that I get, you probably go viral. Literally send me like stuff about dinosaurs from space or time traveling dinosaurs.
Yeah, morons are sending me David Wilcock's time traveling dinosaur show, and he's making fun of the stuff that David Wilcock talks about, directly making fun. Maricos Chihuahua. My wife used to have a Chihuahua. I both loved that dog and hated it. Someone should warn him about the hurricane attacks in Florida. Yeah, there's plenty of those hurricane attacks, and thank you for your kindness.
Ra commands you to bow down and praise the cash.
It's not a request. It is a command, friends. So let's get to the last couple of slides. Oh, the very last slide. Yes, the day after he wrote me, he massively exposed Stephen. No, he didn't. He didn't name me. He doesn't know who I am. This is more David Wilcock fan fiction from Q-tard land, right? Thank you, Maricos Chihuahua. Yeah.
The day after he wrote me and said, well, it was a weird double negative too. Because he took a picture of somebody's writing and he didn't say who it was, and it said, when is David going to say that you are not in the military and that your name is not Ezra? And then he said, these things are not true.
Yeah.
It's not true that you're
He was saying he's not in the military and he's not Ezra Cohen. You can tell from his voice he's not Ezra Cohen, you moron. And for years, you told people he was Ezra Cohen, the Alliance Communication Director. You moron, you super genius of the millennium scumbag grifter. And now we know that you were lying to everybody or making that shit up, like you make up most of the shit you talk about.
Not in the military. It's not true that your name is not Ezra. So that was another weird thing, and maybe that was just an accident on his part. But anyway, I will honor the fact that he does not want to be seen as anybody special. The stuff is coming to him somehow.
He doesn't want to be connected with you
guys all want to
because you're
do
a
it. Everybody says
wackadoo.
yes. Absolutely, absolutely. Keep him. So yes, I hope he can hear that and understand that this is a great way to get his message out. And plus, I have the budget now to fight the same guy who he says is attacking both of us.
He never said that I was attacking him. David Wilcock made that up in his land of make-believe. There's no proof that he said I was attacking him. I don't know him. I've never attacked him.
We're both being attacked by one individual. We don't necessarily know what his name is, but this is what he posted to me.
No, you said Steven in the fucking slide at the beginning of this. Now he's saying he doesn't know what my name is.
It's really pouring now. I love the decodes. We love Ezra. Yes, 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 yes. It could happen. Look up, look down, look out. Yeah, I mean, we're very close to something, and it's very exciting.
JFC,
anyway,
what an egomaniac.
Clearly the Democratic vote from the audience is, yes, we want David to keep doing these slides.
Yeah.
So I hope he doesn't write me something.
Because your audience is morons, and they haven't quite woken up to the fact that Q-tard stuff is morons.
And saying, please stop doing it. Up until now, he hasn't, which I would assume means he's putting it out in the public domain. I give him full credit. I'm not ripping it off like many other people do.
No, you're just basing half your show on his posts. Do you give him half of your super chats since half of your show is you reposting his nonsense? I don't think so.
Tell you where to find it. You can subscribe to him. You can pay him if you want to. General MC News is another one he links to. It's had a lot of weird inside stuff in it, so I've subscribed to that now. They're getting my $4 a month. Okay, so I'm doing everything I can to help.
Big spender. He collects thousands of dollars a month sharing this guy's Q-tard Telegram posts, and he gives the guy $4. Out of the thousands, he said that he made $258,000 last year. And half of his show, half of Wilcock's show is sharing Shadows of Ezra posts because he has no material of his own. If David Wilcock ever had an original thought, it would die of loneliness. Did you know this? If you put his books in a plagiarism checker, they come back 50 to 60% plagiarized because he copies and pastes all of his nonsense from other people. He's so unoriginal that he has to steal this guy's posts. Great, you credit him. Do you give him half the money that you're generating, sharing his posts and talking about them? You made $258,000 last year doing that. Did you give him half of that? No.
Including the idea that everybody's got one enemy. And, we're going to have to do something for our company because of this situation, because it's just going to keep on happening. And we need to be able to get our hands around the problem and bring it into an arena where justice can be served.
Yeah, so David Wilcock's got to bring it into an arena where he could get me the death penalty or get me life in prison.
And that's going to be in a court with a judge and however that all unfolds. But, everything's all ready to go. We just have to get there.
I don't know who the guy's name. I don't know the name of the guy. Like, is he retarded? He made a slide that said the day after he wrote me, he massively exposed Steven. And then a few minutes later in this clip, he says, I don't know the name of the person that's attacking both of us. David Wilcock is literally losing his mind. He is literally losing his mind, friends. And that will do it for tonight's episode of the Wacky World of Wilcock. We'll check in with all the places to check in. Make sure we don't have to read any more super chats or whatever the case may be. We're good on Kick, and I believe that we are good on YouTube as well. And one moment. All right, so we're at 20 of 30 for the overtime goal, which is fine by me because we're already at 3 hours and 15 minutes just about. So we're going to cut it off here. Sorry we didn't hit the goal, but I will have some overtime planned for later in the week, whether we hit the goal or not. You guys know I'm very generous with my time, and we do that. Scottish Alan is here a little late, says, I need to go back. I missed most of this. Well, better late than never. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. And Mr. Protractor, who is the MVP with the biggest super chat of the night. Thank you for that. Says felting of the year so far. Bravo, bravo, Stephen. Yeah, we are going to continue. The feltoning will continue until the scam is over, friends, which really means we've got 218 more days. David Wilcock is going to run this grift at least until the end of 2025. So he's got 218 more days to scam everybody out of money, telling them Ascension is coming soon before everybody will finally wake up and go, you said 2025. Now there's no Ascension. I don't know what he's going to do. He's going to probably just go away for a little while and come back with a new scam. That's what he usually does. Midnight Mark says to get out of here. Winter. Oh, yeah. Winter was in David Wilcock's chat, and people did not like that guy, right? Winter is coming. I must have missed. I'm looking for the message from Winter. Must have missed it. Sorry about that. But welcome, Winter. Yeah, be careful in that Wilcock live chat. You're gonna get banned. The Crow says 218 days of more Wilcock's BS to laugh at then. Yes. Even when it gets to the end. The Archangel Michael told me it's going to happen in 2020. Give me money. Or 2030, you might mean. Yeah. It's one of those things. Reveal the dildos. At the end of his grift, we've got a lot more planned for him, Kevin Hall. Yeah. So we've done our due diligence and then some. I didn't expect it would take this long, but I really wanted to include that explanation in the beginning of our show because it really shows what Mr. Wilcock is doing. It is a common thing for people accused of wrongdoing to turn the tables on the accuser and claim they're the bad guy and I'm the victim. Seems pretty accurate. So I want to take a moment to thank you, kind and generous benefactors. Pinned in both live chats, both on Kick and on YouTube, is our new Clips channel. Please go there and smash the subscribe button. We're trying very hard to get that monetized, and we would appreciate immensely if you would go over there and subscribe. There's lots of great quick bits there. So if you're looking for a quick Truth Seekers fix, maybe you got, a couple of minutes that you need to kill waiting in line or waiting for a doctor's appointment, and you just have 5 minutes or 10 minutes to invest in some Truth Seekers. It's mostly the funny stuff on the Clips channel. So we'd appreciate you go there and subscribe, and let's get the watch time up. Watch some of those Truth Seekers best of clips. We'd appreciate it. We want to take a moment to thank you Patreon supporters, you YouTube channel members, you Kick subscribers, you Twitch subscribers, you PayPal pledgers who are sending PayPal pledges, you people buying me a coffee, people gifting subscriptions on Kick, and people gifting memberships on YouTube. We love and appreciate all of you. Thanks for loving and appreciating us. So we have done our due diligence, friends, and I'm going to bounce on out of here. So that's all I got for you, friends. Until next time, my name is Stephen Cambion. Good night, and God bless all of you.
Dark corners of the night, secrets hidden from the light. Whispers turn to screams, shattering all your dreams. Eyes wide open now, truth you can't disavow. Echoes through the halls, crashing all your walls. Truth seekers exposing the truth. Truth seekers coming for you. Uncover the lies, open your eyes. Shadows try to hide, no place for them to bide. Light will pierce you through, reveal what is true.